You know, the last chapter ended with this exact same rainfall, just the same way how Keiichi came back home after killing Teppei, but he's still apparently alive and out there and still. Yeah, with Sadako. Oh god. The grave was still dug up, his shovel is still out there, he took another shovel to dig it up, the dirt is still soft, there's no blood anywhere. He has wounds from chasing after Teppei and killing him. He made sure of it, but bashing his skull in after he went unconscious several more times, and he would reasonably have drowned and suffocated underneath the weight of all that dirt. There's no way he could be alive, and yet he's still around. Teppei left the house on his motorbike. Keiichi pushed that into the swamp, along with Satoshi's bat, and the bat is gone. Keiichi has not, at any point, went back to Sadako's house. Technically, prior would have been Satoshi's house before, but not anymore right now. So, all of this rides on whether or not what Coach Irie does right now. Depends on what he told to the police, what he decides to tell to his parents, Keiichi's parents, and exactly how he's gonna act from here on out. Because right now everyone is acting suspiciously. Reina and Mion are acting like how they did in the first installment. Now Coach is like, did he heel turn? Not like, scarily, but just like behavioral wise, just all that. Oh god, there's just no other good way to look at this. It all depends on what he does. It all depends. But Keiichi definitely still resolved to kill Teppei, and oh god, those two tips are definitely ominous as all hell, especially if looking up a license plate for a car which seems to has no connection to anything. Why are we given that tip? And there's still so many more achievements to this game. And this is technically chapter 12. How long is this going to be, or how many more chapters are there? I'm not complaining if it's longer, but oh my god. Holy shit. They're just changing the formula now, which is good. The body wasn't there. The police didn't arrest me because of that. But I didn't know whether to feel happy about it. Just like Sadako had said, I'd failed to kill her uncle. I don't know if she technically said that that you failed to kill her uncle. It's more like he was still, at home. That was it. She's not inciting you to do anything. The body wasn't there, so I was forced to conclude as much, no matter what strange natural disaster, coincidence, or miracle might have implied. In order to free Sadako, I became a demon. At least you hallucinated becoming a demon for a bit, and met another demon that hallucination. And this abnormal world was my reward. Yes, metaphorically, I'd fallen to the demon world. By that estimation, you went to the demon world several other times. One which was completely not your own fault. A second one where you just technically broke into trespassing, which is technically on some level like normal teenage behavior. But this, like, it's a different thing entirely, but yet all of them were met with the same exact transition to the demon world. So and I know you don't remember any of those other arcs and all that, so don't worry about it. Just don't worry your little head. Pat pat. But if that price had been exchanged to the life of Sadako's uncle, then that would have been fine. Since Sadako's uncle is still alive, still shackling her to him, I need to become a demon once again. One more time. No. As many times as it took. I would kill that man over and over again until Sadako was liberated. Oh god. I had already awoken. I looked at the clock to see that it was early in the morning. At just about 5. 5 o'clock in the morning? You woke up that early? Bejeebus. It was already light outside. Once I hardened my resolve to become a demon again, I could feel my whole body teeming with the awakened power once more. Yes, let all the hatred, the power, the unholy divine power course through your veins and make your skin glow. Turn red. technically pink. Time wasn't an issue. No matter what, I'd do it. I got myself up. The exhaustion from the past 2 days has completely slipped away, and I didn't even feel sleepy anymore either. I slowly rose and made sure my body was moving like I wanted it to. I can feel blood flowing through each and every one of my fingers. As I got dressed, I let my mind wander, and had a strange thought. These 2 days, well, I said it was for Sadako's sake, the only thing my mind has been killing. I said it was for Sadako, but while actually carrying out the act, I completely forgot about Sadako, albeit only temporarily. Maybe initially it was for Sadako's sake, but now I'm just a demon killing for the sake of killing. It seems just more like you're just killing just because you don't want the stress to carry over into your normal life, honestly. That's literally all it is. Especially all that happened. That's literally what it is. It's a tiny bit selfish, a tiny bit selfless, but I think it's leaning more towards selfish right now, a tiny bit. And as a result, I'd sunk into a world fit for such a demon. Maybe it was the same for Satoshi. Don't bring Satoshi into this. If he's a demon by now, then he's practically a saint among demons then. Honestly. Because, like, honestly, still, it doesn't really entirely make sense for him to actually, like, kill for all that. Like, it just feels weird, almost, because of the whole thing with him, that guy being arrested and has intimate knowledge of all the crimes and all that. And the only way I can only imagine that being a whole thing was literally just that guy technically killed Sadako's aunt for whatever reason, even though he had no connection to it to it. And apparently the next day, apparently she was still alive or something like that. Something like this, like something where out of nowhere, just the person was still alive, and then someone else decided to kill him. If it was like Satoshi, then why did that guy then make the exact same crime, like did the exact same crime, the exact same crime scene? That does not make sense. The guy had to be at the crime scene for it to happen. And it was at the house where Sadako and Satoshi lived. Then no, just no. Well, there's definitely like reason to believe that Satoshi, there's a possibility of it. I do not believe it wholeheartedly at all. Satoshi was doing something else, and like the parallels are just keeps on going. But I don't know if the parallels will go that deep. I don't believe that entirely. I believe Satoshi is literally just being paralleled for the tragic fate for Keiichi, and literally even for Sadako, like connection to the curse and all that. That's literally just all the parallels go for me, like at least right now. Like just that's how it feels anyway. That's my gut instinct right now. He resolved himself to kill his aunt to save Sadako, became a demon, then disappeared from the sunlit Hinamizawa, vanishing into the demon world. You keep believing that. I know you say you made a bond, but you technically made a bond with a baseball bat. But you did hear his voice, but Satoshi just really wanted the uncle dead, so he just wanted to possess the bat and also be there with you, give moral support. Which meant that after all was said and done, I'd met the same fate as him. I tried to make the void making the same mistakes, but it happened anyway. Yeah, it was always inevitable to happen because you don't know the mistakes he made in the first place. So, of course, it's the whole thing. History repeats itself. And it happened literally the exact last year. Which meant that maybe Satoshi was here. Okay, keep calling out. Go around your own house and start screaming for Satoshi's name. Your parents will not have a fit and just question your sanity. But aside of it, then, if your parents did not talk to you at all, actually, Coach did not bring it up at all. What the fuck is his game? Yeah, no. Oh, God. Satoshi had come to this world a year before me, so he would be here somewhere. You're taking this metaphor too far. Oh my gosh, the bells are back. Then, surprised, I stopped walking. Those second set of footsteps I'd grown so used to hearing. Could you be Satoshi? I'm assuming the bells are supposed to bring up the thought, a feeling that something's watching Keiichi or something's falling around. At least that's the new sound effect for all this. But I have been playing ever since, like, you know, a bit afterwards, Keiichi started thinking about killing. So, You had this same exact feeling of being fallen around the first installment. Don't know what even caused that. Could you be Satoshi? The empty, lifeless air wouldn't give me an answer. I felt a strange kind of relief. There was someone there. That Satoshi had stuck with me the whole time. Just struck you. How dare you? Let's go, Satoshi. Once more. This time, I set Sadako free for sure. I quietly slipped out of the house when my parents wouldn't notice. You caught me now when I've been out way too late for 2 days now. Hey, give me your really angry talking to. So I had the time to allow for that to happen. And I feel like at this point they would actually try to wake you up this time. Today, I'll put an end to it. The dead body disappeared, then I didn't have to bury it. I can just burn it to ashes and take him with me, so I can kill him again every time he resurrected. I do it again. I kill him again. And this time, I'd set her free. This is a weird mixture you're making of emotions in your own head, Keiichi. Because, like, you do know no matter what happens right now that, the police will immediately suspect you first for Teppei's death if it does get finalized this time. If the curse allows you to kill, only we can kill on our special day. We'll resurrect him so you can kill him another day. Only we're allowed to kill that day. Only we do. Wow, extreme gatekeeping much. Outside, the morning light was so beautiful as to stagger belief. I went to the storage room to find weapons with which I could kill him for sure. Take another shovel. Blunt or not, it didn't matter to me. Right now, I didn't need to care about whether someone saw. The police came. This world had gone crazy after all. A world where I'd shown up at the festival and had fun, even though I wasn't there. I still don't know what to make of that. It's still just another thing of supernatural things, or literally just everyone's gone crazy. Oh god, like, oh no. Mass hysteria. Oh god, oh god. Even if the police arrested me, I'd probably end up going right back home as if nothing had happened. Both me and that other Keiichi Maebara. Even without me, he'd fill in. I want to ask if Keiichi technically was there and Oishi saw him all around. Because then technically, well, it doesn't really matter because then the alibi whole thing will just fall apart anyway. But still, I just want to know if Oishi saw him too. The police are always on guard looking around the festival every other time. Even without me, he'd fill in. How do you know he's going to fill in a second time? I could vanish from Hinamizawa without anyone noticing. So basically, I didn't care if I was mistakenly killed. Even if I died, Keiichi Maebara would remain. After all, this isn't the world I belong in. If I was going to be killed mistakenly for Sadako's sake, then that was just part of my duty as her Nini. As those desperate thoughts became serious, the morning air felt more refreshing to me, strangely enough. Oh, this one's scary. Let's go with this. It was a hatchet meant for chopping thick firewood. Oh, we're doing that parallel instead this time. Its hefty steel blade was sinister, almost as though it was a tool meant for killing people. I couldn't exactly take it out in public like that, so I wrapped it a little in some old newspaper and tossed it into the basket of my bike. Nice. Sorry for using you for evil all the time. I'll need you again today, my legs. I apologized to my bike for some reason. The past 3 days, I've only used it for dangerous things. Have fun, I'm doing parkour, not jumping off a ramp with it. Do normal bike things with it, okay? Treat your bike right, okay? Not cars, though. Cars don't deserve rights. Every other vehicle deserves rights, though. I've been riding this bike ever since I lived in my own old town. I could walk most places I wanted to go, so I hadn't used it all that much. My mom had bought it for me when I entered cram school, thinking it would be a convenient way to get to the station, since it was far away. So I'd always use it to get back and forth from cram school. I'd only ever put textbooks and class materials in the front basket, too. I never tried to put a hatchet that you'd be using to kill someone there. I think it'd be weird if you did try before. When I came to Hinamizawa, life finally felt fun. Met the best friends ever, had some of the greatest times ever. Those times might have been shattered now, but it's my greatest wish that I could get them back. I had to risk my life to do it. Based on how Mion and Reina acted out, I think those days are long over. Even if somehow miraculously Sadako healed after all this whole trauma, I feel like nothing is ever gonna happen the same way again. Cause that's life for you. You're gonna go distant with your friends. That's how fun those times have been. I killed someone, technically speaking, in your mind. And now I was at it again, needing to kill someone. The same someone, by the way. Murder was a crime. Technically speaking, yes. Technically. I didn't believe that people should ever think murder was okay. Not murder, but how about justified self-defense? I think that's fine, honestly. I'm pretty sure the only time I think murder is honestly alright is in very, 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 very specific circumstances, and that's too specific to even qualify as actually having a reasonable chance to happen. There's gonna be a lot of things that have lined up fucking perfectly for them to be justified in many different facets and ways. Holy shit. It's not even reasonable to even think about it more. But still. The times I had were enjoyable enough for me to commit such a crime. It's you're gonna get rid of... I'll channel all my energy from all this happy slice of life things to channel it, to finally kill, and make sure they live happily without me. Bartering one happy memory to commit one bad memory. My friends were irreplaceable. The time spent with them a treasure. Unless they were acting this all the time, and they're literally trying to manipulate you to do their dirty work. Make you do the terrible deeds and all that. Hanging out, laughing, sometimes tricking each other, but always in a friendly way. A friendly, manipulative way. I didn't feel fear committing a crime, as long as it was for the sake of taking back those times that gave my heart so much pleasure. Yes, this was a value I decided to uphold. It wasn't something I learned from a school teacher. It was a noble path I chose for myself. Because loneliness. I thought back to when I first come to Hinamizawa. But how on the very first day, Sadako had welcomed me via blackboard eraser with a rock in it. Just had a big old chalk mark on your face with the blackboard eraser. That welcome really surprised the heck out of me. She would laugh, get angry, cry. She was never boring. She was obviously the most childlike one among us. But she was actually lively, full of vim and vigor, and good at meddling in other people's business. That went for Mion, Reina, and Rika-chan too. Wasn't Sadako the one the center of everyone's laughing and banter? I believe Rika's the only one that hasn't been changed at all through these whole games anyway. Honestly, Sadako would try to look cool. Then Mion would make fun of her endlessly. Then Sadako would cry, which would put Reina in a state of ecstasy. Yeah, shoo, go away. Rika-chan would be greatly delighted in her suffering. And I happened to get mixed up in it. We'd always fool around like that. It was lonely when someone wasn't around. But if I had to name one for whom it was the worst, it would have been Sadako. Her smile was everyone's smile. Ever since she stopped smiling, so did the rest of us. And for the rest of us, not smiling was the same as dying. It was just like when I was silently going to cram school every day, just to maintain my unchanging test scores. So basically, you're nothing when she wasn't smiling. She was full of hot air, and she was a princess. Cute and unhateable. Yeah, I can really tell that. Just full of hot air anyway, yeah. There's no weight to it anyway. I'm pretty sure if there was weight to it, I'm pretty sure everyone would notice and probably hate those kind of people even more, honestly. In that case, I was her knight. Oh no, you're the white knight in shining armor, oh god. Searching for the dragon's castle in order to win her smile back. Oh boy. Isn't it technically, is that technically her house from a different angle, honestly, thinking about it? It looks similar, but no, probably not, actually. Knights, of course, use swords. You have a hatchet, or you can just use a pencil, because the pen is mightier than the sword. What's closer than a pen than a pencil? The awesome two-handed kind. I'm probably the only knight in the history of the world to be taking someone on with a thick, rusty hatchet. Keep telling yourself that. And I saw an old person in the ridge of a field waving to me. Oh my! Keiichi-kun! Out for a morning ride, I see! Good morning! I reflexively waved back in a refreshing way. Should I really have been feeling so happy, waving like that? Well, you're making all things end, so let's go with that, yes. Sadako's house would be right past this road, going beyond the rice paddies. Wait, her house is actually right there, like, by the field? Oh god. The cicadas had woken up too. Next thing I knew, I was the audience to their daily chorus. I gave myself a hit or two in the head, and drove away my merry morning mood. I took a deep breath, and told my held back, culling my pointless excitement. The body wasn't there. Its absence either meant my killing him had been an illusion, or that I killed him and he risen from the dead. If I was at the festival, then maybe I should have considered an illusion. Coach probably thought that way, which is why he treated me like a lunatic. But it being an illusion was just impossible. I killed him without a doubt. Without a doubt. Just like avoid Coach Erie from now on for all times, and if you do interact like I'm not joining your baseball team as the biggest betrayal. No, it's not anyway, but still. If that had been an illusion, then that would make all this Hinamizawa I was in right now an illusion. If that was the case, then here's how it would end up. I was actually in a vegetative state due to a traffic accident. I was currently dreaming in a hospital bed. How great it would be to spend time with friends and rice paddies like these. That's a terrifying thought, though. If this was an illusion, then the only possible answer was that he resurrected. But make him a literal monster. Monster. But he was such a monster, that I was no less than a monster myself. I didn't hesitate to kill someone, and I could even wield curses. You technically cursed one person that they were dead, but I don't think Oishi is that dead yet, or he crashed after that whole car report thing. That yeah, that's still ominous. I still don't know how to take the malice tip. I don't know how to take that even more. I still don't. Takano-san died probably because I cursed her. Maybe that was a little much. If Coach and Oishi died too, like a curse to the yeah. If Coach and Oishi died too, like I cursed them to yesterday, then I believe it. Welp, here we are. I set my bicycle aside and went to take a look. His motorbike wasn't here. Of course it wasn't. I sent it down to hell that night, throwing it into the Onigafuchi swamp. Or maybe, just like the corpse wasn't here, maybe the motorbike didn't get thrown into the swamp either? That's the one thing I want to know. The fact his bike wasn't here might have been because he had gone to town and hadn't come back. Not necessarily because I'd thrown into the swamp. For Uncle wasn't around, and that threat was convenient on its own. I would just show myself in, wait for in return, sharpening my hatchet. You were gonna talk to Sadako then. If he was there. Forgotten sensations came back to my gut. A feeling of tension rose within me. The sensation was like poison, dulling my actions, but it could also be the trigger to allow me to awaken to my superhuman, otherworldly self. Oh, goy, you're now believing you're half demon now? God damn it. I held the hatchet, still wrapped in newspaper. Its weight in my hands was profound, sinister, and reliable. I hadn't put on my watch, so I didn't know what time it was. Well, guess what? Time for you to buy another watch then. But it was probably still a little before 7. Sadako would probably be awake, preparing breakfast and her lunch. But her uncle would probably still be lazing around in bed. A guy like him probably would have stayed up late drinking and probably always slept till noon. I considered ringing the doorbell and having Sadako open the door for me, but if her uncle woke up the sound, I'd waste my chance of him still being asleep. If Sadako saw me sneaking inside without ringing the doorbell, she'd be surprised. If I ran into her, what would I say? I'm going to kill your uncle. I've come to kill your uncle for you, so stay quiet. I couldn't do that. It'd be like making Sadako responsible for his death, especially in their house, so yeah. Be quiet and go wait outside. Be quiet and wait and see. Maybe that would do it. How would Sadako react to that? She would probably try and get me to give up on killing him. I'd lie somehow to get her to go outside. Sadako didn't need to know that a murder was going to happen in this house. I couldn't quite think of a good lie to tell her, but couldn't do much just standing around like this. I made up my mind and grabbed the doorknob. Oh boy. Then slowly, I turned it and pulled. It wasn't locked. That's worrying. The gap between the door and the wall steadily grew larger. The chain wasn't even on. The oppressive smell of life in Sadako's house hit me. The entrance. There were a few pairs of shoes and sandals. I couldn't tell whether he was here or not just by looking at them. I could hear television on somewhere. Oh. The television was in the messy dining room. Well, even though Sadako's forced to clean, it's still like this. Okay. There's food scattered about the table, giving an impression decidedly different from a happy family's mealtime. Meals were for eating food while thanking the person for making it, meaning whatever occurred in this dining room wasn't a meal. Nobody in sight. No sign of anyone either. With the television on, he must have been close. Could he have anticipated my coming and be hiding, waiting for me? No, I don't think so. The tension I felt was so thick, so tight that I thought it would choke me. The newspaper, wrapped in the hatchet's thick blade, didn't hamper its power at all. I tied my grip on it, then very carefully took a look around. You're just like holding a bundle. The newspaper just tied to a bundle just in the looks of it. Like you're like about to go on the heat of the lamb just to run away. Then you unwrap the newspaper and, oh look, weapon! Slash! Where had those peaceful feelings from before I arrived here gone? Even the sound of sweat bubbling up on my brow got on my nerves. And then, I looked at the table and realized something. Oh god, what? This wasn't breakfast. The grains of boiled rice were all hard and dried up. Then, was it last night's dinner? Holy shit. I left the dining room, keeping vigilant, went down the hallway, and found the stairs on the second floor. When that man was playing with his friends, he looked out of a second-story window. It was highly possible that room was his own, and they slept there. I tiptoed up the edge of the stairs, quietly climbing, without making a sound. I couldn't hear any kind of snoring. We actually didn't get any confirmation the uncle was still alive, actually. Besides, Sadako telling us that. I don't know if that's worse or bad that, like, either Sadako was hallucinating that, or, like, really, like, acted and pretended that to keep Keiichi fine and, like, not get arrested if she found out about it. But it was only from last night's dinner and nothing else. Huh. What technically was last night's dinner? Like, it was like the day before, so like she made food, but like it's just left out there. I'm probably overthinking it actually. Like thinking if Sadako did indeed lie, then like that's a lot to consider. I couldn't hear any kind of snoring. Didn't hear anything up there. I went through a few rooms, slowly and quietly opened the paper doors, checking inside. But I still couldn't find anyone around. To search more efficiently, I got down the floor and pressed my ear right up to it. I could hear the television in the dining room. A low hum, perhaps of boiling water. In the kitchen? It was then that I started to harbor some feelings of suspicion. This house wasn't right. I think people had been here since the TV was on. It wasn't normal for nobody to be around this early in the morning. What was that boiling water then to be? I silently descended the stairs and went back into the dining room. I looked at the food scattered about. Completely dried up rice. An overturned bowl of miso soup. Yeah, that was mentioned, but like, Sadako said she cleaned it up. The package for a side dish bought at the supermarket. Tell Sadako definitely been the one who made this. The food was far from Mia's perfection for Reina's gentleness, but it was sincere. Judging by how she cooked for me at my house, and from the type and amount of side dishes, I deduced the meal was from last night. Okay. The number stamped to the food package read 830620. That's June 20th, 1983. That was the Malice. June 20th, 1983. That was yesterday. And there was food for two. Does that mean that the festival happens on June 19th then, actually? Huh. We got date confirmation! And there was food for two. Which meant this was not last night's dinner. And Sadako's uncle would have been here then. Stop it, Keiichi. Don't even think about saying the word impossible again. Well, I mean, all you have to do is just say the word impossible and, like, you know, that's it. But the meaning behind it and the intent behind it is a completely different matter entirely. Anyway, her uncle was here last night. That you know, that you possibly know of. You're making assumptions. That much was the truth, that you can assume. He had found fault with Sadako's food, thrown the bowl of miso soup, and flung the rest everywhere. Hidden deep within my feelings of calm and composure was lit a flame of anger and a curse. Should I have ever shown this man any mercy? Bump. I heard the sound again. The one from before. Like a water boiler. What was it coming from? The first floor? But where? The bathroom? Maybe? I could hear the noise coming from the other side of the frosted glass, the far end of the changing room. In fact, there's no music now, just ominous. It had to have been the sound of the water boiler for the bath. Steam was enshrouding the glass door. The heat from it was leaking into the changing room where I was standing, too. My misgivings deepened. People didn't normally take a bath as early in the morning. If one did, it would mean that his house, time had been stopped ever since some moment last night. Whistle, whistle, whistle. Was it being reheated? The water boiler in the bathroom had been active this whole time. I checked in a clothing basket and saw Sadako's familiar uniform stuffed in it. The uniform had stains and dried rice stuck to it. It's not something she could wear today. It's probably from the miso soup at the dinner table yesterday. I looked hard at the frosted glass, but couldn't see anything through all the steam. And then, an electric surge ran through my mind. A terrible premonition came over me. Could she... She couldn't possibly have been in there since last night. That'd be impossible. Oh no. Don't you dare. Oh god. But no. In Hinamizawa right now, nothing was impossible. I gulped audibly. I quickly pulled aside the glass door. Hot, steaming air burst out of the slight opening. The fan wasn't on in the changing room, so it went completely white with the steam. Just as the hot vapor poured into the changing room, cooler air also flowed into the room with the bath. And I had just heard, to being hit by the air, a very weak moan. That was all I needed to know who it was. Sadako! No answer. Sadako was in the bathtub, surrounded by a thick layer of rising steam. Top of her body was leaning over the edge of the tub, and she was passed out. Okay, I thought it was a suicide attempt, and oh my god, I don't know which is worse here, honestly. The water boiler kept on making a whistling noise of angered. could see the glass flame through the small window. It was roaring at full force, completely blue. It's like, is her head sucking underneath the water? Sadako's entire body was boiled red and flaccid as though her bones had melted away. Oh my god. She was almost like a doll as she laid there unconscious. I wasn't sure how many seconds passed. I stared in complete bafflement. I came back to my senses and probably shut off the boiler. Then I dragged Sadako's small body out of the bathtub. The water in it was as hot as the water in public baths. Was she in this boiling water for the entire night? She'll die. She'll die! Sadako's body was lighter than I expected as I laid her on the floor and wrapped her in a towel. I went back into the bathroom and opened up the vent, creating a path for the cool breeze to come through. From the breeze hitting her, Sadako moaned again. "You'll be alright, Sadako. It's me, Keiichi. Do you understand? Can you hear me?" Keiichi said... Sadako recognized me and muttered a response, but I couldn't really tell what she was saying. Her eyes were muddy and unfocused. I could tell she wasn't completely conscious. Upon closer inspection, her limbs and waist were twitching slightly. This was way worse than normal overheating. It's the almost opposite of hypothermia. What even would that even be called? This is dangerous. Didn't they call this heat stroke? Okay, that sounds right. Think, what would the teacher do if a girl passed out in the middle of summer, during a marathon gym class or something? I turned the water faucet in the kitchen all the way on, slipped a towel in it, and then took the cold towel and pressed it into Sadako's forehead. She reacted harshly to the coldness and let out a muffled voice. For burns, right. You would soak the burn spot under running water. Then, could I run cold water in the shower and cool her off like that? No, if it was that sudden, it wouldn't be good for her heart and she'd go into shock. I think I read that once before. Oh, this was about as much nursing I could possibly give her now, wasn't it? I think more than this would be too much. The likes of an amateur. What happened, Sadako? You're alright now. I will... Your Nini will save you for sure. 5,039... 40... Huh? What was Sadako reciting to her breath? I brought my ear to her mouth to better make out the mysterious spell-like words she kept saying. Like, is that yen? That moment, I understood what they were for. Sadako, you're counting? Why? People tell little kids in the back to count to 100 a lot, right? Sadako was counting like that. But 5,039? You moron! How long is this a count in your own bathtub? 10... I doubted my ears and doubted her common sense. 10,000? You're a freaking idiot! What kind of dumbass can count to 10,000? There's no way you can do that. You boil to death before you get that far. Why were you... My uncle... Last night, her uncle flew into a rage at the dinner she made, saying it stunk and was inedible. So I couldn't understand what on earth he meant. It wasn't much different than what she usually made for him. Maybe he hated the smell of the pickled vegetables she bought in particular. Her uncle then decided the stink was originating from Sadako, and shouted at her that she never, ever took baths. Oh. And then he put Sadako in the boiling water, told her not to come out until she counted to... Oh, I'll kill you! Ugh! I snapped and exploded. Raised the newspaper wrapped at hatchet, a stampede through the house. I searched for anything. Traces, signs, smells, vibrations, heartbeats. The war cry. I reached up the stairs with such a force I could have stunned a hole through them. I found the futon in the room I thought to be her uncle's, and well aware he was sleeping in it, I bashed it with the hatchet. Did he run into the closet? I'll bust the entire closet down, door and all. If he's not there, maybe there's a secret door. Any switches or levers in the walls here? I smashed into wall after wall with the hatchet, crushing them. Dust rose into the air, and broken pieces scattered about the floor. I smashed the glass windows too for good measure. Oh no, we're going a lot of parallels now. Oh boy. What caused Reina then in the first installment of the past then to have this reaction then? Did her friends at school actually bring up, like, Hinamizawa's always sure someone's curse and like it stressed her out a lot, but it happened out of nowhere for her. So what is happening here? This is built up stress. I've destroyed everything beyond recognition in her uncle's room. My reason finally kicked in and suppressed my emotions. Anyway, her uncle wasn't in the house right now. I had to leave killing him until later. Right now, I do something about Sadako. Going back to the changing room. Sadako is still lying limp in the floor. There's nothing more like an amateur like me could do for her. I needed to take her to the clinic. Oh boy. Coach had treated me like a lunatic yesterday. Tried to lock me up in a mental hospital. I don't want to see his damn face again. But I still needed to go to the infirmary one more time. Needed to have a doctor look at Sadako. I thought of putting her in the dirty uniform lying in the laundry basket, but I had no experience dressing someone. It would be pretty difficult. Shit, I don't have time to be wasting here. I eventually gave her my clothing to her and decided to carry her in her bath towel. Oh god, was she naked this whole time? Oh yeah, oh god. The clinic was close to Sadako's house. It would be faster to carry her there than to call 119 and get an ambulance. I threw the biggest towel I could find over her and prompted her to stand. Can you stand? I'll carry you over to the clinic. Thank you. Her words sounded clearer than before. Just trying to come back. I cried tears of relief just knowing she improved even a little bit. Sadako turned over so she was lying in her face, and then put up a weak struggle to get up on a knee. I smoothly swept her up and put her on my back. The towel I put on her seemed like it was about to fall off. Towel, it hurts. We'll be there soon, it won't be long, so stay strong. Didn't hurt one bit to carry Sadako. She was light. Too light. The lightness actually made me uneasy. Oh god, I feel like if the uncle was starving her. Outside had gotten hotter, as though eager to attack Sadako. Fucking cicadas. Why did I choose this morning to get so hot out? Didn't have time to swear at them. The clinic was this way. Hoisting Sadako on my back, I broke into a trot. Okay, well that's the first section down. Oh boy. Something's gonna happen with the coach. Oh boy. And if like, I don't know, oh god, another thing, if like, he has to bring it up again, honestly. Oh boy. How long has it been since we last saw this background? It actually feels way much more surreal now, seeing it like this. The hilly road to the clinic, with which I had never had difficulties before, was now torturous. Big beads of sweat formed on my brow, and at some point, my breath had grown faint. The hatch of my belt was heavy and made it hard to walk. I considered leaving it, but I couldn't let it go, at least not while Sadako's uncle was still breathing. Okay, here I am. I didn't cause, Keiichi didn't cause all this to Sadako. The signboard for the Irie Clinic came to sight. I quickly noticed something odd, so I stopped. Several red revolving lights were flashing in the clinic. 3 police cars were parked in the parking lot with their lights on. There didn't need to be much else to inform me something bad had happened. Didn't want to see Coach. I planned to leave Sadako in the clinic waiting room and give the receptionist a message. The police officer Oishi here, I couldn't go inside so carelessly. Oh god. What's going on? Why are there so many police cars? Wait, is this background actually for the clinic? I generally put Sadako down in the shade of the thicket. I don't know. I'll go see what happens, so you stay here for a moment. Being a lady in a place like this, wearing nothing but a bath towel. It's unforgivable. You can still fire off those insults, you'll be fine then. I'll be right back, I added, getting to my feet. Oh boy, don't go too far, please. Cautious of my surroundings, I hid myself behind a car and got closer to the officers grouped to the clinic's entrance. I heard an officer wearing a necktie, while the leader and a white-robed doctor having a discussion about something. The doctor didn't seem to be Coach. It was one of those who Coach told to make the tea yesterday. So you're the first one to find it since you were on morning duty. So then, what did it look like? He was sitting on the sofa in the head office, like he was taking a nap. Oh, the curse. There was a jug and empty bottle of sleep medication at his desk, so you immediately thought he could try to commit suicide with it. What else? His high temperature and dilated pupils indicate a severe disturbance of consciousness. Sounds like a typical case of sleeping pill poisoning, so I'm beginning to treat him. Without calling the police or an ambulance. This is a hospital, and I'm a doctor. Since his life was in danger, it's my job to treat him at once. Yes, understand. Okay. What else? His breathing was in disarray, so I put him on a respirator. I also administered breathing stimulants. Had no effect, so I prepared a medical ventilator and... Right. Do you not even know any of this? Okay, Kamiya. So in other words, you did what you could, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, you're skipping over all that, yeah. That's it, right? You reported this as soon as he died. Yes. It was very unfortunate that we were unable to save him. Just then a radio in one of the police cars started to buzz, producing a broken, mechanical voice. This is HQ. This is HQ. Kamiya Yama-san, can you hear me? Over. Hello? This is Kamiya Yama. Kamiyama. We've come up with something. It looks like he committed suicide with sleeping pills. No notes or anything. Suicide? What the heck were they talking about? Someone committed suicide at the clinic. But who? Is it Coach? I wished Takano-san dead, and she died the next day. And yesterday I wished Coach was dead. Then, could he have... Well, I'm pretty sure you wished the uncle to be dead for a while, now he's still technically alive, so I don't know if your curse abilities are, like, anything to go by. Like, could he have... Did he use sleeping medication regularly? I don't really know. Did he normally complain that he was tired or wanted to die? Well, Airi-sensei was normally so... well, himself. He never acted like that. Oh. So I was right. Airi-sensei. Talking about Coach. Coach killed himself. He never acted that way. Are you talking about yesterday? Why would he do that? Couldn't have been any reason he wanted to die. The reason that came to mind was that I wanted him dead. This world was insane. If I wanted someone dead, they'd die. That was the kind of world this was. Then, what about Oishi? What happened to him? If people really die because I wanted them to, then something should have happened to him too. I sent you back up. The chief wants you to leave the rest of them and get back to searching for Oishi's car. Oh. Yes, sir. Please excuse me, then. Looks like we're getting relieved here, so please leave everything as it is right now. Alright, let's go. The officers nod and split up into patrol cars. Did they just say, searching for Oishi's car? Searching for his car. That meant he had gone missing? Takano-san, Coach, and Oishi. When I wished for it, the very next day, they disappeared. No matter how angry you were when you said you wished someone was dead, it didn't normally happen. Everyone knew just wishing for it would make them dead, and that's why people would utter such curses so lightly. But the curses I uttered were being granted. At the time, I hadn't even been walking, and yet... Tap. I heard a footstep. And it wasn't only one this time. Tap. Tap. They came from behind. They stood right behind me, reaching a hand for my shoulder. Don't you dare. Okay. Do you mind telling me what's going on? I was gonna say, like, I swear, if you're gonna go around and, like, Sadako? Don't scare me like that. I'm the scared one here. I preferred if you didn't shout so suddenly. It was Sadako. Her eyes were still unstable, unfocused, but she seemed able to at least walk on her own now. She looked far better now compared to her earlier exhausted state. How do you feel? Are you better? My head still hurts. I can't stay outside looking like this forever. She gave a smile, showed courage, but her legs were still shaky. I'm just more amazed why no one noticed. I mean, what on earth is going on? I just heard the police talking about... Coach apparently committed suicide. She was at a loss for words. Her face grew paler and paler, and I could tell she was doubting her own ears. Keiichi-san, is that true? I didn't mishear you. That's what I heard. They said Irie-sensei killed himself while sleeping with sleeping pills. Sadako went down on her knees and broke out in tears. Oh boy. It can't be. Koichi would never ever kill himself. They watched Sadako crying and clawing on the grass. I felt myself trapped by guilt and remorse. I got so angry that Coach was treating me like a madman yesterday. He betrayed me. That I thought he'd be better off dead. But even Coach, who to me deserved to die, still must have had people who loved and respected him. Like Sadako here. In my selfish, egotistical anger, I wished for his death. And was granted. You're going to, like, some version of Survivor's Guild again. Please don't, please stop, no. And now Sadako was crying hysterically as a result. The guilt tore at my heart. I worked myself up to murder for Sadako's sake. I decided I wanted Sadako to be happy. Was that really all it took? Murder meant taking someone's life. Meant making everyone attached to that person sad. In Sadako's uncle's case, of course nobody would be sad. So I didn't feel a sense of guilt at all. But Coach's death was different. I had wanted to make Sadako happy. And that resulted in me inflicting a deep sadness upon her, hadn't it? Oh boy, you're going to, like, superstition stuff. Okay. But Coach killed himself. It wasn't my... Sadako still hadn't stopped crying, but she seemed to be a little calmer now. Wiping her tears, she stood up. I'm sorry. The only thing I could think of to say to her was an apology. Why are you apologizing? Well, yesterday I got into a fight with Coach. I thought I wanted to die. I wanted it, so you really... Sadako looked at me dubiously for a few moments. Eventually, expression softened, interpreted my words in her own way. It isn't your fault, Keiichi-san. Coach was an adult too. He felt like there was something he had to give his life for, and he chose to do so after a lot of worrying and suffering. It's not anyone's fault. You are very chipper about this. He smiled a little, trying to comfort me. I do not want to be like this forever. I want some clothes. Yeah, can we go inside now, please? Please take her inside, Keiichi. Are you okay? Shouldn't you get someone in the clinic to... I won't die for putting on clothes before going. Sadako readjusted her bat towel and started back along the path. How long did it take for you to walk? Her stride was wobbly. It looked like she recovered as much as she let on. Nope, lead her back around, redirect her. You're still letting her go, okay. At first, Sadako tried to go back home, but it was a time of the morning when people were going to school and to work, so after seeing people walking around, she thought better of it. Must have been pretty embarrassed wearing only the towel. I'm gonna Rika's house. My clothes should be there. Oh no. What's wrong? Keiichi-san. Sadako noticed how I was hanging my head and spoke to me. Despite he might come off, Koto's an adult, alright? He was certainly not killing himself after a petty fight with you, Keiichi-san. Please stop blaming yourself. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. With 3 people now, I couldn't discard the possibility. There was no such thing as impossible in this world. These past few days haven't made any sense. What hasn't? Sadako seemed to be having trouble breathing, but she still tried to listen to what I had to say. At the Wantaganashi festival the day before last, you went home on the way there, right? And I went there and had a lot of fun. So it seemed. I do apologize for getting so upset with you about it. Sadako remembered how she blew up at me in the classroom yesterday and bowed to me a little. If I said I actually didn't go to the festival at all, would you believe me? Sadako looked at me, confused. She couldn't help it, of course. Of course I wouldn't believe you. What are you on about? You wouldn't, right? I don't believe it either. I mean, I didn't go to the festival, but everyone's saying I hung out with them there. Nobody would believe it, right? Are you being serious? Yeah. Oh boy, this is... Oh boy, oh no. Yeah, ever since the night of Wanta Nagashi, everything's been messed up. These weird footsteps suddenly started following me everywhere. The blood drained from Sadako's expression. Footsteps following you? Yeah. I thought just my imagination at first, but they stayed with me. They're probably still there. I can't tell them apart now because of your footsteps, though. They sound just like her footsteps? Sadako took a long and hard look at me. Maybe she was doubting my sanity. Coach did the same thing. I mean, why wouldn't he after telling him this? The more I thought about it, the more I was unable to endure the feeling that my hatred for Coach had been meaningless. On the day of Wanta Nagashi, I didn't go. I was doing something else. The whole time. I wasn't sleeping, or unconscious, or anything. It's not possible I watched the festival half asleep and forgot about afterwards. That is quite strange. How were you at the festival? That's what I mean. I didn't go to the festival. No. I can't let myself get emotional. If I get agitated now, that'd be like proving that there's something wrong with my head. Sorry. Well, nobody believes me, so... yeah. If that is what you say, Keiichi-san, then I will believe you. I sense a tiny bit of doubt in there still. Even then, I don't know how to take any of this. This is such a bizarre situation anyway. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Then what? Just give the whole rundown. That night, I saw Takano-san, and it felt like she was looking down on me. So I made a wish that she would die. Takano-san does have that sort of air about her, doesn't she? I cannot say that I don't understand how you feel. Did you know that Takano-san died? Happened yesterday. Apparently she was burned alive somewhere. Is that true? She died? I wished for her to die, and the next day, she was dead. And Oishi from the police, too. Do you know him? That annoying and fat detective guy. Sadako nodded a little. He's just laying it on the table. Oh no, I don't know how this is gonna go. I heard from the police earlier, but apparently he went missing. And yesterday, actually, I, well, wished that he would die. Is all this true? I'm not lying. I don't want to believe it either, but it's true. Takano-san, Coach, and Oishi. I wanted them dead, and then they really died. For a little while, Sadako was at a loss. A long silence ensued. Oh, what a scary story. I should be sure not to get on your bad side, Keiichi-san. And that's not all. There's something even stranger. It's about your uncle. I'd rather you not talk about my uncle. He was there yesterday, right? At your house. Please stop talking about him. I don't want to. It's impossible. He couldn't have been there. I said stop talking about him. No. No! That man couldn't have been there the night of Wanakandanashi. Because I... No! No more, please, no more about that man! I killed him! With my own hands! Even the cicadas stopped crying. Her face was streaked with tears, and it was stiffened even more as she looked at me in disbelief. On the night of the Wantakanashi festival, I killed your uncle, so it's impossible that he could have gone back home. But still, he went back. And last night, he found fault with the dinner you made him, yelled all sorts of things at you, and you basically boiled you in the bathtub. That couldn't possibly have happened. So, I wanted to make sure I actually killed him. So yesterday, I went to dig up the corpse I buried. Basically laying us all on the table. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think she's ever gonna take any of this well. At all. But the body wasn't there. Is it even possible? I killed him for sure, but there was no body. Uh, he went home like nothing happened. Home to you, and... How was it supposed to happen, was it? Sadako's entire body stiffened, shrinking away, like there's someone in front of her about to hurt her. You probably think I've gone a little crazy, don't you? I don't blame you. I can't believe myself. Keiichi-san, I think you're very confused at all the people you wished were dead coincidentally died. You're just in shock at Coach's suicide and you're really upset. I think you should stay home from school today and rest. I'll be fine, so please take care of yourself. Sadako spoke like she understood me, but she also told me to go home. I can see revulsion in her face, and that she didn't want to be around me anymore. Well, once I show you the clinic, I'll go home. Your legs are still shaking, aren't they? It'd be terrible if you collapse halfway there. Oh no, what's gonna happen at Rika's house? Is Keiichi gonna say the same thing? He's slowly just gonna confess to everyone besides... Oh god, Lee's just gonna tell everyone, basically, at this point. Really, I'm fine now. I do not want to keep exposing myself to a man any more than this. She wobbled up the shrine steps, looking like she was about to fall. I immediately ran up to her and helped her stay on her feet. But then Sadako promptly jumped away from me. That rejection hurt a lot. Once she got to the top of the stairs, her breathing was ragged, and she wasn't even looking at me. Yay, revulsion. At this point, I was being ignored. It was more like she didn't want to have anything to do with me. There really was a feeling of rejection. That hurt my heart more than any blade could have. This was the path I chose for her sake. To be treated like this at the end of it all is so saddening. Are you still convinced that you need to kill the uncle right now, even after all this? Don't be naive, Keiichi Maebara. You never wanted to be repaid in the first place. Yeah. Didn't do it so Sadako would thank you. You did so Sadako would be happy. And that was what led to this ending. Here? Rika-chan's house was a disaster prevention storehouse used by the town council. If you went past it, a little further through the shrine grounds, you'd apparently reach the back of the assembly hall. Sadako was heading there, walking quickly, the gravel under her feet crunching as she went. That's gonna be painful. I've walked on gravel in my bare feet before because I didn't have shoes on. Oh, that was absolutely dreadful. Did she want to get there as soon as possible? Or did she want to run away? I couldn't tell. And then I heard the vigorous sound of wings flapping. I turned around and saw a crow. Yay, symbolism. I hadn't seen many crows since coming to Hinamizawa. I saw them a lot in my old town, though. On garbage day, they flocked to trash collection points, peck through the bags with their beaks, drag out the contents, and have a feast. As I was remembering that, I saw a few crows flocking around the shrine's donation box. Oh god, what's in there? I thought how terrible it was for someone to leave a garbage bag in a place like that. The cicadas quieted. Breathing stopped. Thoughts ceased. Even time came to a halt. I ran over to where the crows were flocking. I ran there in order to drive a horrible idea in my mind. I definitely hadn't wanted this. There's no way I would ever wish for this even by mistake. This is not... Oh god! When I noticed my vicious approach, the crows all flapped upwards, fleeing into the sky. When the crows' big black bodies flew away, they exposed the garbage bag. Oh god! What had I seen there? The scream had escaped my throat before I understood what I was looking at. What was this? Soka came over as well, realizing something had happened, and she looked over my shoulder. Then she screamed as well. This wasn't... garbage bag was crimson, dyed in fresh blood. No, enough of this stupid roundabout way of saying it. That's right. Yes. Yes. It was Rika-chan, her friend, Sadako's best friend. Always easygoing, clever as a cat, but so cute you couldn't hate her. Our friend, Rika-chan, she was... Rika-chan was stark naked. She was face up, limbs sprawled. Her eyes were like glass, just staring up into the sky. And... Rika! 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 Ah! Sadako broke down crying in the spot. So many fucking things are happening. And yet, she still couldn't approach her friend's remains. The crows had gone through the garbage bag and dragged, well, they dragged on an apple peel and spread it all over. No. No. Crows, they couldn't do this. Ugh. Ugh! On the spot, I started vomiting. The sour taste became a bitter one, so I threw up over and over again. Rika-chan, she... stomach was cut wide open. Vertically, completely open. Holy shit. Crows. Crows couldn't have done this. Her open stomach. Her organs, they were dragged out. Like children's toys left all over the floor. What? What the fuck? Why does everyone literally just... Everyone knows close to Sadako right now has been killed. Or has done something horrible now. An unbelievable sight induced oxygen deprivation in my brain. Caused my vision. A pounding headache. Dizzy. And I wanted to vomit. I wanted to vomit so bad. It's like the nightmarish remains of ceremonial killing. They're literally bringing up all the stuff from the last installment. Oh my god. Someone, somewhere killed Rika-chan. Brought her here. Laid her here with her limbs sprawled out. And then cut open her stomach and dragged out her intestines. Red and pink viscera sticking out of her gut. Her intestines were scattered in every direction like it'd been for fun. The entire ground was covered in an ocean of red and black. A few of the crows had hopped around inside the ocean. They walked through the sea of blood, leaving bloody footprints. In those footprints, there were several still left on Rika-chan's body. That sinister prince made it seem even more like a bizarre ritual killing. I may have wished for Takano-san and Coach and Oishi to die, but I didn't ever remember wishing for Rika-chan's death. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I smelled backwards, then stepped on a newspaper. A newspaper? In a place like this? The newspaper was always covering my hatchet. I kept it wrapped up and on my belt in order to carry Sadako. Oh god, she's gonna immediately think it was you. The newspaper had fallen off. Oh, sheesh, don't scare me like that. I bent down to pick it up, and Sadako looked at me with such disbelief as I'd never seen, and froze. She was looking straight at me, the hatchet on my belt. Calm down, Sadako. This isn't what it looks like. Sadako, trembling madly, backed away. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't... murder. She didn't care at all that she was exposing herself through the towel. She just trembled and tried to step back, the demon in front of her. Sadako, please, calm down. Please, relax. Sadako. No. No. Oh. Screaming weakly, Sadako began to run unsteadily. Run. Away, that is. Wait. Please wait, Sadako. You're wrong. That's not it. The way she ran away, it was so weak, so slow. So when I go after her, I could have caught up. But if I try to grab Sadako's shoulder or something right now, she might actually go crazy. So I had to follow her and try to clear this up. You're gonna make things so much more worse, Keiichi. Honestly, at this point. Oh, God. You killed Takano-san and Coach and Oji-san, didn't you? You killed my uncle and then you killed Rika. You murderer! No, it wasn't me. I didn't kill her. What are you saying? You just said it yourself, did you not? You wanted them to die. And everyone died, didn't they? What? No. Just wishing they were dead, that couldn't... You don't remember what we did you? How can I trust a person like you? Didn't you remember of killing them just slip your mind? No, maybe you're only pretending not to remember. Besides, what is that hatchet for? Try explaining that. It's for... See? See? Keiichi-san, you're a killer, aren't you? Why'd you do it? You were a little mean, but you were fun and kind, and once I even thought you might be my real Nini. Why'd you turn into this? I might have been able to slowly answer each one of Sadako's questions at a time, but in this situation, explaining my innocence in such a short period of time was impossible. I didn't even know if I really was innocent anyway. At the very least, I killed Sadako's uncle. No matter what you say here, she's gonna be completely convinced you did it. After everything she's been through, all the trauma and everything like that, there's absolutely no way she's gonna calm down from this unless she's away from you for a bit. There's no way. There was no body, but I killed him. Without a doubt. At that point, I was far from innocent. I wished for Takano-san and Coach and Oishi were dead. And that curse of mine was granted. I wish for Takano-san to die. I didn't think of it as anything more than a normal thing you'd say to someone you didn't like. Then she actually did die, and I realized that if people wanted to die, they would. And hoping what happened again, I cursed Coach and Oishi to the same fate. So even ignoring Takano-san's death, Coach's and Oishi's were completely premeditated crimes. Was I a killer? Just like Sadako said? Not to that extent, no, oh my god. Was I unable to distinguish between illusion and reality, and turn into a demon without remembering it? Become a killer who carried out Oyashiro-sama's curse? No, that couldn't be. It was impossible. Damn it! The very word impossible was impossible in Hinamizawa right now. How many freaking times have I said that word these past 3 days? Sako started crying again. I was walking unsteadily. At first it felt like she was still running. But now it's like she was walking away crying from someone bullying her. Why? Why did things turn out this way? Why? There was an answer to that, and I wanted to know it too. Why? Why had it turned out like this? After Nini went away, I was lonely for a long time. Then Keiichi-san transferred to our school and everyone was happy again. It was fun again. Every day was beautiful. Yeah, she was right. Those days are bright and beautiful. And yet, after that, Sadako and I shouted the same exact thing. How'd it turn out like this? The cicadas were sneering at the spectacle. Our strange game of tag. Are you still chasing after her? Stop. Stop right now. Shut up. Eventually heard the murmuring of a stream. Oh, we're at the bridge. This was the... Oh god, the scene. I was thinking how this would come into play. Oh no. Oh god, you still have the hatchet on you, too. Oh no, this is not going to turn out well for you, Keiichi, honestly. The forest parted, and a suspension bridge appeared. Sadako was crossing dangerously, wobbling as though she might fall at any moment. When I stepped onto the bridge, it swayed a lot, causing Sadako to stagger and fall on the spot. Sadako, are you okay? Don't come near me! You murderer! She shouted, her hatred made very clear. It was sad. If words could cut, this warmth flowing from my eyes would have been blood for sure. Why did you turn out this way? Ji-san, I really liked you. I wanted to go up to her and give her a hand, but the distance between us was uncrossable. If I got any closer, Sadako would start shouting again, and say things that would hurt me deeply again. So I couldn't approach any more closer than this. There's nothing salvaging this, honestly. Sadako, I don't know how things turned out like this either, but I can say this. I wasn't the one who killed Rika-chan. At least that is true. Please stop being so absurd. How do you expect me to believe anything someone who can't really rely on their own memories has to say? I tightened my hands into fists. Oh god, you're gonna scream. This was mortifying. Okay, good. You're just crying. Okay. I wasn't crazy. Hinamizawa was crazy. Ever since I wandered into it, lost in that one night. This insane world where I was at the festival and I wasn't, and the uncle I killed was alive, where death would come just by wishing for it. It was this world's fault. Mia and Reina started acting strangely, like they were possessed by something too. Coach wouldn't believe anything I had to say. And even Sadako, who he should have protected, was yelling at me like this. Was the price for killing a man supposed to be this high? Was I really going to be forced to stay in such a bitter world? I did the right thing. At least I wanted to. So then, why? I hated it. Every time I asked why, the days Sadako and I enjoyed in peace went so wrong. Sadako, please believe me. I'm not a murderer. And what is a hatchet for? Can you give me a convincing explanation for that? Is this hatchet scaring you? Okay, I'll throw it away. That's what you want, right? Sadako didn't nod, but she seemed to be in agreement with that proposition. I clumped into the hatchet in my belt, then dropped over the side of the bridge into the stream below. There. It's gone. Now, you listen to me, right? You think I'll let my guard down just because you got rid of your weapon? No, you keep it up. Keiichi-san, you're strong. It'll be easy for you to strangle me with your bare hands. Like hell I would ever want to kill Sadako. Unless possession, but let's not go to that. You idiot. Then what should I do? Should I put my hands in my head? Yes, why don't you? Please, put your hands on your head and face the other way. It's a cunning plan, much like the one she used during club activities. My hands on my head and turning away would mean I couldn't attack Sadako very easily. I immediately acquiesced to her request, since it would make her feel better. Is this alright? Please listen to what to say. Sadako stood up, then carefully approached me from behind. And then she actually came right behind me. What is happening? She was so close, and yet I was so sad that I wasn't allowed to turn around. I started to think I understand that it isn't your fault, Keiichi-san. Huh? I think probably you've just been possessed by something evil. Possession back! Before I thought Keiichi-san was a killer, but now I know. Looking at your eyes, you can hear that Sadako is still crying, but her voice is gentle just the same. Keiichi-san could never kill anyone. Something simply possessed his body and made him do evil things. Was she speaking literally right now? Or was she trying to admonish me? I couldn't tell. Come think of it, maybe they were possessed just like Keiichi-san. The time I was only thinking I would be killed, so I didn't think about it. What? But now I understand. Wait, Han, what? Maybe they were possessed. I was only thinking I would be killed. What? But now I understand. That was the work of something evil possessed you. Sadako? What? Are you... It was less like she was talking to me, more like she was talking to herself, like she was confessing on my back. I understand, you know. It isn't like I haven't experienced it myself. Sadako's voice started to become mixed with sobs. You experienced it yourself. Was my theory right? Her pained voice tore at my heart. I didn't know what Sadako was talking about. I climbed to the top of the ritual storehouse once. A few years ago. Oh. Oh, God. Oh. Oh god. Once, when Sadako was playing hide-and-seek at the shrine grounds, she climbed into the roof of the storehouse for ritual implements, which everyone said not to go near, and hid. Then Sadako, so she could get in, through a window meant for ventilation. Are you fucking kidding me? Literally just for that. Just that curse only. Oh my god. For Sadako, the word curse was plenty scary, but she was more curious about what was inside the unknown storehouse. She removed the grating in the window, which was already hanging off, and slid her small body into it, and climbed down inside. Did we talk to Sadako at all during the second chapter? Second installment of this game? When Keiichi broke into the storehouse? Did they even talk at all? No, soon after the club was disbanded. Because, like, they didn't be careful of Mion. Did Sadako mention anything, like, towards the ritual storehouse in any capacity? I don't even think she was any hateful towards, like, Keiichi or anyone else during the whole entire time. I can't even remember how she was before then. Oh my. Wow, okay. Well, she wasn't gonna chastise Keiichi for the breaking into the storehouse. Rain, on the other hand, though, it was too dark to see much. After descending, she realized just how high up she'd been. Despite the darkness, she could see a few things around her thanks to the faint light coming in from the air window. And to her disappointment, it was just a regular old storehouse. She tried to leave. The door was locked up tight from the outside and was made to not open from within. She had to go back out through the ventilation window she'd come in from. But the window was behind the wall. There's no way she would be able to climb back up. Sadako desperately tried not to cry, and marked her brain thinking of a way to get up there. Oh boy. Did you move that torture table to like try to move and stack furniture up to the window? Oh boy. There were a lot of birdcage looking things hanging by chains to the ceiling. She took the hanging chains and strung them along the wall. She climbed up the bundle of chains. She might be able to manage to climb up to the ventilation window. There's nothing else she could do. She had to try. And try she did. It was dark and creepy, and she didn't want to stay there forever. The more she thought about that, the more she panicked. She climbed the bundle of chains. So I could hear the clinks and clacks of everything creaking under her weight. And then, just as her hand reached the window, one of the metal fixtures she used to stick the chains in the wall flew off. The chains all began to pull loudly and furiously every which way. Spurred on by the sounds behind her, she managed to get back into the roof from the window. Because of the way the flailing bundle of chains, the other fixtures broke. Then one of the big bird cages hanging from the ceiling fell to the floor with a huge noise. Under it was the image of Yashiro-sama, his vessel, and the cage took off one of the arms, and dropped some of the other implements beneath it. Didn't take very long for her to grow scared of what she'd done. Oh, that's the reason why she's taking all this abuse. Because she feels like it's from her fault. Literally. Oh god. She went through a more... Wait, how long ago was this? They mentioned a year ago? I want to be sure of this. Was it a year ago? Or let's scroll all the way up. A few years ago. Was it before your parents died? Oh god, no wonder you think it's all the curse. And no, if Mion knew about this, then no wonder she said she was cursed. The same exact way that like everyone like admonished Keiichi for breaking the storehouse. Oh my god. Holy shit. And this whole time she thought she was cursed because of it. And if she was cursed for a minute, then oh my god, just for... Oh god. The deafening noise could be heard from the rest of the shrine grounds. A few other children heard it and gathered around. Of course, Rika was one of them. And Rika's father, the shrine's priest with an angry look, ran over. And then, that's what happened next. It was painful to remember. The only one who knew where Rika's parents got the key to the ritual storehouse was Rika. So he scolded her. Then this happened because Rika pulled a prank and hid me in there. Oh. He was very angry and menacing. Just looking at him wasn't to frighten anyone. He exposed Rika's back, took a strangely shaped ritual cane or something, and struck her with it several times. What the fuck? Rika's words at the time, "It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." The pitiful voice I still can't get out of my head. I should have said it was me. I should have said so to save my best friend from that false accusation. Of being afraid of Rika's father's terrible temper. Rika gritted her teeth and cried. The crime she didn't remember doing. Or since then, the world had been strange. I know, I understand. This is Oyashiro-sama's curse. His judgment for messing the ritual storehouse and forsaking my best friend. Oyashiro-sama's curse. My father and mother too, they vanished in that muddy stream. My mean aunt died too, but then Nini, who loved me more than anyone, ran away from home. And then Keiichi-san transferred in. I thought I finally got my fun light back. This time, Keiichi-san was possessed. And even Rika got killed. Something I heard once. Oyashiro-sama, when he really curses someone, he doesn't kill them right away. He goes in order your closest friends, and after killing them all, he kills that person last. So literally whoever, accidentally, broke a curse on one way or another literally caused all this to happen. So he waited for your curse for several years for Keiichi to show up and then kill him. What the fuck? If that's actually true. He goes in order your closest friends, and after killing them all, he kills that person last. So Keiichi-san, the curse got to you too. I'm sure Reina-san and Mion-san will be cursed next. And then they'll kill and be killed. No. No more. No! Calm down, Sadako. There is no curse. Nobody's trying to torment you. When I turned around, I was thrust away with amazing force. Amazing force? Oh no. Given my hands were awkwardly placed on my head, I couldn't take the fall and lost my balance. And I pushed not into the bridge, but to the side. Please tell me you're gonna latch onto the side of the bar there's. Towards the stream. No, this can't be happening. As one last miracle, I was allowed to grab a cord from hanging from the bridge. Far below me was the stream. Yay, more parallels! We're pretty high up, and below were rocks of all sizes. If I fell, it clearly wouldn't be pretty. The entire bridge is sitting under my body weight. My frail little grip probably wouldn't last another minute before my fingers had to let go. Sadako! Sadako! I didn't understand myself what I meant by shouting her name then. Was he asking her to save me? Was he asking her why she did this? Finally, everything came into focus, and I saw Sadako. Surprised on an odd expression she had. Oh. It was the first time I'd seen it. An expression of righteous anger meant only for those who need to die. Oh shit. Die, you murderer! Give him back! Give back my Nini! Give back Rika and Mommy and Keiichi-san! Oh my god. She screamed. She jerked the bridge to and fro. Oh god. She didn't have to do that. I was gonna fall anyway. You know that he's not, possessed anymore right now, right? I guess? So... I won't lose the likes of you. I won't lose to some stupid curse. I will never, ever lose to you. If I ever wanna... I will never lose to you. Not ever. Sadako, please just let me say one thing. I don't know what my face looked like at the time. It seemed like it was enough to quell Sadako's agitation. I know what I did isn't exactly praiseworthy. No, in fact, maybe I should never have done it at all. But I did it because I wanted you to be happy. Please, just believe that. You... At the very end, you're still pretending to be Keiichi-san. Oh god. Oh god. Sadako didn't seem to have any more desire to listen to what I had to say. For that to happen at the very end like this was tragic. I didn't do any of it so you would praise me. If it made you happy, that was all that mattered. You were nothing. Without your smile, we were nothing. Let her disappear. Please. Smile. If you can get on with your new life by my dying, please, just smile. Can't you at least promise me that? Stop speaking! Don't use Keiichi-san's mouth like that! Fall down! Die! And those are the last words Sadako ever said to me. Those sad, tragic, and altogether unrewarding words. What on earth was I? My desire to make Sadako happy ended up like this. Where did I first go wrong? And what was the mistake I made? When did I make it? Was I the crazy one? Or was it Hinamizawa? Even after all of this, I thought I wasn't crazy at all. It was this eerie world that was crazy. This world I'd actually wandered into that one night. It was a fun world where I never doubted all the crazy times we had as a club would go on forever. I couldn't possibly transform to such an abnormal world. That fun world wouldn't have ever ended like this. Sadako pushing me to my death. In the end, I was going to be swallowed up by this crazy world. And disappear. No, I probably already disappeared. Yes, probably. On the night of Nagashi. I'm sure, in the world I really belonged to, I had vanished that night, and everyone was worried. It was laughable. It had taken this long to figure out I wasn't around anymore. Yoshiro-san was cursed in the 5th year, with Sadako's uncle dying and me disappearing. I don't even know if he's still alive or dead by this point. In the real world, Sadako had already been freed. Me and my friends were all lamenting my disappearance, and valiantly trying to get back on their feet. And even though they were down to 4 people, the club would reopen, and they would have a good time without me. Waiting for the day when I would come back. I'm sorry, everyone. I couldn't come back home. But this is what I wished for. It was my wish for Sadako's smile, and my duty as your Nini. At this point, there'll be nobody left to torture you. I don't know about that, actually. Because Satoshi and I, it took 2 years, but we succeeded. That annoying, toothy smile of yours, we wanted to see it. One more time. My pain wasn't gentle or merciful. It was a sharp pain, violent, powerful, and ruthless. What little compassion I had receded in the span of a moment. And now, I could die. I could say goodbye to this insane world. Farewell, crazed Hinamizawa. Thanks for giving me the psychic power to kill people whenever I wanted. If you'll still allow it, I wish for one last thing. The death of this very world, of this crazed Hinamizawa, so that nobody would ever again have to find themselves lost here again like me. Wow, that's a chapter segment. That's actually not the ending, no. I think you're really just pushed down and like your spine is just severed and broken. You're going unconscious. Research notes too. Research notes. Wait, what? Deep. The game's still going. Oh god, I think it's actually still going. There's still continue. There's still more. Shortest chapter, shortest installment, my fucking ass. Research notes, but that was 1 and 2. Oyashiro-sama. Nobody really knows what characters to use to write Oyashiro-sama. Knowing this is hard partly because depending on the time period, he has been called with various titles, with subtle changes to his name, and nobody knows the real one. The only thing all time periods agree on is that the 4 syllables O, Ya, Shi, and Ro are always used. There was a theory stating that the shrine, or Yashiro, dedicated to Oyashiro-sama itself, became an object of worship. Oh my god, the shrine is literally just called a Yashiro? Okay. And if Oyashiro-sama is definitely like made up for the whole story for this game, that's actually kind of funny. And that people began calling it Oyashiro-sama or Lord Honorable Shrine. This doesn't make a bit of sense. I don't know whether this is related. People say the Furude family, the most respected bloodline in terms of worshipping Oyashiro-sama, actually inherited his blood. The legend of the Furude family passes down if, for 8 generations in a row, the firstborn child is a girl. The 8th daughter will be the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama. What? If we go by this legend, the characters used for Oyashiro-sama's name should be O for honorable, Ya for 8, and Shiro for generation. These character assignments are simply something I thought up. There's no way to verify it. If this is true, then Oyashiro-sama would have been named as such under the assumption he would come again. The second coming of an object of worship can be seen in several religions, so that is unusual. But a few of these religions call the second coming of their object of worship a Day of Judgment, or something along those lines, and we must not forget they mean it to be the end of the world. Rika Furude, pampered and loved dearly by the elderly folk in the village. Are you telling me the reason why the elderly folk are pampering and love Rika Furude dearly is just because of fucking superstition? The rumors say she's the 8th generation, and Oyashiro-sama. Oh. Oh god. I do not know the family tree of the Furudes. At the very least, I can confirm that for the past 2 generations, the first child has been a girl. Rika Furude watches over Hinamizawa. The village were to lose her protection. What would happen? Would peace between man and demon be lost? Would it once again create a hellish landscape where men-eating demons run rampant? A gruesome feast of the demons? One who suddenly remembered how delicious the weak humans were, who can only cry, scream, and run for their lives. What would that look like? Just imagining it doesn't make my heart pound with excitement. What was that? What? That's the research notes. I thought that was 2. What is even going on in this town anymore? Huh. It definitely seems like it keeps going back to just like curse and superstition stuff, honestly. But everything circumstantially goes back to realistic stuff, because it's like someone possessing and all that happened. But exactly, we never seen the uncle, like so far, and the game is still going. This is the end of Han. Like, look, Han. Let's go and just like let me just see if I can verify this right now. Yeah, end of chapter 11. That's chapter 12. We have crossed a threshold. And there's still many more achievements. I didn't even bother counting how many achievements there were, honestly. So maybe that like shows how many more chapters there are for this whole entire installment. Like, oh my god, this is what the fuck do you mean the shortest installment? You fucking liar! I love it. You lied to me. That's nice. I like it. Just make sure it's actually fair. If you lie, make it fair to see. Ugh. Love when like stories like technically lie, like to the player, at least the main character, like outright. Okay, so yeah, it just seems like it's furthering down just my whole list of really just supernatural stuff. And of course, again, Keiichi's not dead yet, or literally just out of nowhere, we're gonna have a literal perspective shift. That's the only way out. If like since the way down was that way, he landed on a rock, and if he's not dead, he's practically just fatally wounded, the very least. He wakes up in a hospital and all that. Oishi's gone. Like, the whole curse just seems to go along with like everything he says, like coincidentally, very coincidentally. Even if like it believes like Keiichi like wished for it or not. But that's the thing, because Keiichi wished for all his fiber being just to make sure Teppei would die, but didn't. So literally just he's literally just being used, being manipulated just for some bigger agenda. That's the only thing that comes to it. And now I'm just realizing that the overglowing silence, this end card, when every other one was just music, or even just the Higurashi, the cicadas chirping. It's all silent. That means they haven't cried yet. At least it's not over just yet. As Keiichi so eloquently put it. When the Higurashi cry, then it's all over. They stop crying for a while. It's all been relatively silent. And it's still going. The nightmare will still keep on going. It's probably still going to go on forward for another several chapters, and the looks and sounds of it. If there's like a third page of the tips. And as I swear, if they're going to make a fourth tip thing, oh my god. But just in this, like, they're going to fill that out. There's at least 5 more tips left. Like, to add through to that. Because has to be even and all that. It has to be even for tips. If not, then my brain will not like that at all. But yeah, no matter what Keiichi could have done there, like he kind of did things like the best I could think of, at least in this like changed like state. The bells seemed like my brain keeps associating the bells to be like exactly that's when something, the bells, the combination of the bells and also the feelings of footsteps equate to like the feeling of just being possessed. And this is not the first time of like of characters really just looking at Keiichi and thinking he's a different person. This is not the first time, honestly. Not the first time. And this is like before any characters like did anything like horrible wise, or like out of character wise so far. This is literally when all of them are just going about their lives normally, just normal slice of life fare, and then they pick up on that. So this is not anything like thing else. They're not being like shrouded in mystery. They're not hiding anything. It's not lying. It doesn't seem like it, unless literally just it's going that deep. Unless everyone technically has like made the like broke a taboo in some way, shape, or form. But like, what was it? Like, if we're going with that, then almost every main character we're focusing on in this the question arcs here has broke a taboo in some way, shape, or form. It was implied that Reina technically broke a taboo in some way, whether it was just because like leaving the town at first, and then slowly, like the whole curse takes over and all that. But then what was the taboo that Mion did if we're going along with this whole curse theory then? If what everything that Sadako believes is to be true. And like that's even worse to think about that like I knew I was right that Sadako would definitely feel like the curse was literally just going so hard against her, and it was still continuing on for her, like half a decade after she did it, or even longer than that, honestly, just because of that. And it's all going into the guys and just you did something wrong, suffer for it. You know, something minor or anything like that. It's literally just as minor, just stepping inside a sacred place and doing nothing else. It could just be something as drastic as what Sadako did, like in terms of like superstition and rituals in this town, of like breaking in with your own volition and then literally actually breaking statue, even when it wasn't your intention, it wasn't your trying to be your fault, and it's like that. Nothing like that. Plus, I already mentioned before in the very first installment that Keiichi literally was following along with a ritual, but did not say I guess Shirosama's name like 3 times the same way. So there was that too. He's technically broken a taboo in some way to reform so far, but here is a bit different. I haven't noticed anything he broke a taboo or like the curse of it so far, unless it's something imperceptible. That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only thing I can think of. If we're going along with that more, because it feels too wrong if it's just people now, based on literally just the uncle still around and alive. Unless someone can think of an actual realistic way of how someone can survive that and not have Keiichi realize that they're all this, they're all that time, they're all that build up and all that, then yeah. The story is still doing its best to like make it like give some room for doubt for it as well, definitely. Like I'm with even like I'm a coach basically saying like Keiichi's crazy and all that with his own doctored opinion, but then immediately then it undermines that a tiny bit with his own death, which is ruled a suicide. There's some weird things going on. It's still going. It's still ongoing. But we're not gonna get any more answers or like any more formulated questions by the sound of this until Keiichi bites the bullet or someone else does. So I guess we can only just we only can wait and see what else inspires. Alright. I've given it some thought, and from the sounds of it, the curse still could definitely be what all these horrible events still happened. Whether it's just because like the person the chapter and the installment focuses on gets cursed inadvertently at some point, or at least because Keiichi also gets cursed from one way or another. Now, since he does make some transgressions in the past two almost the series of him not doing the con ritual just right and breaking the storehouse, for this one, he's definitely getting like the worst treatment of it, but he hasn't done anything wrong so far, and just he's only being targeted just because he was getting too close to Sadako, bonding to the point that Sadako saw him as a brother figure. And since she was cursed as you go, and like if she says it actually does correlate to the curse, then my god, that's just so depressing, honestly speaking. It makes sense what Mion was talking before, that Sadako was cursed then, by that way. But just from how like, even then like Mion and Reina basically just started like acting out of character even then, like it just feels like either like they're hiding something, or this whole time, if it was not a curse, they were pretending to even care about Sadako, which is that's just probably even worse in all honesty. And this is literally just we're going on chapter 13 then, which I'm actually even curious how they're even gonna continue on, especially with all the extra tip spaces left over. Oh boy. Is Keiichi even still alive after following that distance? Hmm. My head was pounding. The sky was bright. Okay, he's still conscious a tiny bit, a tiny bit. It was cold, too. It hurt. Each sensation I felt led to a new and different one awakening. Oh, you floated down the stream, right where the festival took place. Okay. When I came to, I was lying face first in a dry riverbed. A few body parts hurt a lot. The skin over a bunch of my joints was torn, turned blue or red or oozing blood. It tells my bones that were in pain from the agony I felt whenever I moved. I looked up and saw how high the bridge from which I fallen was. Considering I dropped from there, it was a miracle I could open my eyes again. Or not, depending on how you're gonna die shortly after here. Oh boy. And I still don't know the correlation with the coach and Oishi, like even besides Keiichi just cursing everyone internally. Doesn't exactly make sense, especially Oishi went missing and Coach committed suicide in some way, which technically I still don't think Louis is a suicide unless he had a sudden change of heart or yeah, something else is going on. Oh boy. Considering I dropped from there, it was a miracle that I could open my eyes again. Right next to me was a broken upside-down car seat, which I guess some pranksters have brought here. Well, if it's not that broken, at least you have somewhere comfortable to sit. Maybe this thing had been conveniently lying right under me, allowing me to escape instant death. Miraculous. Of course, I didn't know whether this miracle was fortunate or unfortunate. I'd failed to die, and now I was still stuck in this insane world. Oh yeah, there's that. How long have I been unconscious for? Probably for a while, and you said your limbs were injured and like still hurting. Like, can you actually move at all? When you looked up, so I guess you can move a bit, but The sun was high in the sky, so it looked like only 1 or 2 hours had passed. My body's sluggishness didn't make it feel at all like so short a time had gone by. Mentally, I felt like I'd been asleep here for a decade. Oh god, the hatchet was down. Is that down here too? I forgot. Keiichi threw it over the bridge. Oh gosh, it's down here too. Ow! Ah. The more feeling returned to my body, the more the pain flooded in. It hurt so much it would have been better not to have woken up. I need to get to a doctor. Hopefully I'm an actual good functioning one instead. Let's not go to the clinic, please. Even though that one doctor is not available, to put lightly. Yeah, the Kota's clinic. The term Kota's clinic brought memories back one after another. The memories I wish I hadn't recalled. Sadako was no longer on the bridge. She would return to Hinamizawa by now, and she would put on some clothes, go to the clinic, get a checkup, and report on how crazy I'd seemed. The police are waiting for me without a doubt. Either way by now. Oh boy. This time, would they find out for real that I killed her uncle and arrest me? Or would they just send me to a mental institution like I thought they might? I don't even know which way I was even going at this point. Still, I didn't care which it was. Please, someone stop all this pain. You can boil me or cook me after that, whatever you want. I began to walk unsteadily, just limping along. We still don't know if the uncle is even alive, because conveniently we've not seen him at all. The first thing to do, Keiichi's probably gonna try to find to see if the tiger tattoos in the back. I went downstream, and then through an animal trail-like path in the woods. I walked haphazardly, searching for a path I knew, and walked past the grave that you dug up. And you fall into it, and you actually bury yourself alive. Okay. Eventually, I finally came across a familiar road, and set off towards the clinic. Not to my house, but to the clinic, which had treated me like a lunatic. It was hot and humid. There was no wind, and the air was stagnant. For a while now, I've been smelling the terrible stench of burnt eggs, made my face scrunch up. And then, at last, I noticed something. I couldn't hear any cicadas. It was the first time I'd heard Hinamizawa be so utterly silent. Okay, this music's back. Okay, I'm creepy investigation time. Okay. Thinking about it now, if Sadako actually told the whole story, in the clinic aloud, wouldn't they start thinking that she was insane too then? Thinking about it, she'll probably lie if she wants to be believed at all. Oh boy, which is gonna be bad either way for Keiichi, either way, god damn it. When I thought back, it seemed like birds always chirped in the morning, cicadas always cried loudly in the afternoon, and Higurashi always rose up in the chorus in the evening. Always something to hear. Everyone's at school now, it's lunchtime. I couldn't hear a single insect. The only thing I could hear was the rustling of the wind brushing the treetops. I never experienced this sort of quiet before. Well, I don't think you played hooky before from school yet, so yeah, of course it's a new feeling. Unintentionally hooky, you know. If only you were hooked against the side of the cable so you didn't fall down. But get caught in your shirt. Or your skin tears it. No, okay, I don't want to think about that anymore. Even the only sound coming from the trees lacked life somehow. The trees were yellow, and many leaves were spread on the ground, despite it being too early for autumn. They were getting a head start. Even the weeds that had been growing so persistently at the side of the road had yellowed, browned, and lost their vigor. Only the sunlight itself was of the June Hinamizawa I knew, of only we can go into space. And yet, it seemed like the seasons had switched all of a sudden. You were actually in a coma for 7 months! Looking at the fallen leaves and rotting weeds led me to a spot a few small insects turned on their backs. They weren't moving. They were corpses. Okay. Well, I heard some insects have a very low lifespan, but I'm pretty sure it's not hours-long lifespan, right? I looked closer to see insect corpses scattered all around. Like a child had collected them as samples and strewed them about. The stench. What was it? Oh god, don't tell me it's more blood. It was terrible. Like burned eggs. Combined with all the bug corpses and the leaves falling from the trees in summer. Had someone sprayed herbicides or pesticides around here? Well, everyone would have passed it. Like, I remember just, like, walking past just a mop bucket at my colleague and from my dormitory, and just for some reason smelled like a bag of Cheetos. I don't even know why. Even at school, we apparently fumigate. They call it pest disinfection or something, once or twice a year. I hadn't run into anybody. That's how bright it was outside. Everyone's at a collective meeting to figure out what to do with the young outsider's body. What to do with your parents. It was mid-afternoon, and yet it felt like I was sauntering about at midnight. Well, with the smell, nobody would want to be walking around outside. Just, what was this anyway? There was no sound, no noise, not even a breath. Hinamizawa was silent. The school had come into view right after turning this corner, and I couldn't hear any commotion at all. Is it lunch? Well, I'm pretty sure if there was lunch, people, like, you would hear kids and all that, you know, like, having fun then. None of the shouts or grunts that children always made. It was simply quiet. Did everyone in town just suddenly just vanish out of thin air and you're the last person on Earth? Yay. Just pretending to ignore the silence had grown intolerable. I saw the school. Are you going to the school or you want to go to the clinic to patch yourself up? And finally, I heard something. It was the sound of a few trucks. There were a few very tall trucks parked in the schoolyard, idling. About 10 workers in raincoats were unloading things in their trucks. It was hot and humid in my casual clothing. I can imagine how unbearable that must have been. And then I remembered. Our school was rented from the Forest Service field office building, wasn't it? Wasn't strange at all for Forest Service trucks to be doing some kind of work in the schoolyard. And then you see a crane just bash the second story window, and you start screaming. They're tearing it down and making a new building. Besides, what did forest rangers do anyway? I don't know. They ranged the forest. Arrange the forest and the trees. Plant new ones. Uproot ones to organize them better. Organize nature and all that. I felt bad for them having to work in such heat. With such a stench about. They're taking colorful cargo out of the truck and landing up in the schoolyard. There were containers. Fairly large ones inside multicolored patchwork bags. That's an interesting image. Heavy too. They were being carried in pairs. Huh. They lined them up very neatly, like tuna at a riverside fish market. Several dozens, hundreds of tuna, completely filling the fairly wide schoolyard up. That does not sound ominous in the very least. My first thought is like lining up corpses. I forgot my pain for a little while, captivated by this big forest ranger job I'd never seen before. Instead of watching the days, the people in raincoats working on the other side noticed me. One of them pointed me out and they shouted a few things back and forth. I thought they might yell at me for getting their way, so I decided to leave post-haste. And they start running after you. But then, 2 trucks drove up behind me. I had to step aside and they entered the schoolyard. Sheets covered their trucks, but I could tell they were completely full. What is happening? As they passed, there was an awful smell that made me want to choke. Was there a whole thing of, like, the water supply or something poisoned the whole entire town or something? It wasn't the same burned egg smell as before. An even worse one, like rotten crab meat. Alright. What on earth was it? I've been enshrouded in one terrible stench after another all day. Then, certain white letters emblazoned the side of the passing trucks caught my eye. Ground Self-Defense Forces. Is there like a riot or something going on? What? What? Self-Defense Forces? Like the army? Oh no, the spooky demon Oni creatures are back here again. They're coming from the swamp and the graves and all that. Zombies are appearing. The ghosts. The possessions are all starting all over again. Face them off. Get some garlic or salt or whatever that holy water. Why was the army in the schoolyard? I don't know, they came here to learn. Hey, you! Where'd you come from? Suddenly someone slapped me on the shoulders from behind. Okay, first off, back off, sir. I turned around, and a canopied SDF Jeep was parked there. The SDF person on a green raincoat and a gas mask like in the movies, carrying compressed air cylinder. Oh, they're all wearing gas masks. I was briefly thinking if that was the case. Oh my god. It is a whole radioactive wasteland zone now. Everyone's been evacuated. He didn't look normal. There wasn't an inch of exposed skin anywhere. Where did I... Ow. Ow. I tried to talk, I stretched a wound on my head. It made the SDF people exchange glances. I couldn't see their faces through their masks, but they seemed surprised. Do you live in Hinamizawa? Can you tell us your name and address? Well, yeah, I sort of live here. My name is Keiichi Maebara. Oh, and my address? It's Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone. After seeing me tell them my name and address without hesitation, one of the SDF people watching from the Jeep started talking to a radio. Base, do you read? Base, do you read? We have a 402. Survivor discovered. A survivor? Okay, the world definitely has gone insane then. I repeat, we have a 402. We found a survivor. He's in front of the Forest Service office. Mrs. Base, me copy. Secure the survivor at once. What is his status? Healthy. Wounded lower, but not fatally. He can walk on his own. We'll send him to HQ for safety. I was prepared to go along with the police, but the SDF? I can't help but think it seemed a little bit much. He urged me to the back of the Jeep. I swear to God, don't run at this point. It doesn't seem like they're that hostile. And then they told me to put on this gigantic gas mask. What is happening? I did so, and one of the troops fiddled around with it, strapping it tightly to me. It was heavy, hard to see out of, hot, and difficult to breathe. Just looking at the world through the lenses made it lose its sense of reality. My breathing sounded like some giant monster through the mask. Okay. At this point, I had no idea what was happening. Your guess is as good as mine. With much trepidation, I asked the trooper adjusting my mask. Excuse me? Has something happened? Where were you? What were you doing? I don't answer question with more questions. I was the one asking you. I fell from a rope bridge way back in the mountains. I think I passed down the riverbed. I don't actually know what day it is. Today is June 22nd, 1983. Have you been unconscious for several days? Wednesday. That surprised me. Sadako pushed me off the bridge on Tuesday the 21st, and she left you there. What happened, like, literally a second after she left? What is happening? That meant I've been asleep on the riverbed for almost an entire day. Forgive me for asking again, but did something happen? Why is the SDF here? Is this a drill? Had my question been that difficult for him? And the troopers would answer me. Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, we're back to... Oh, this is... Okay, this is more ominous now than the mod is going to this kind of screen. Okay, this is way more ominous now to me. The one in the driver's seat talking in his own radio turned on the vehicles. He turned the dial and some broadcast station or another came in. I started to listen to the voice of a radio announcer I was familiar with. It was conducted to the Prime Minister's office. In regards to questions from the press, the SDF not responding to the disaster promptly was directly related to this unprecedented, unheard-of catastrophe. Chief Cabinet Secretary Okuno had this to say. And so, I believe that once the SDF received a dispatch order from the prefectural governor, they responded promptly. According to him, the SDF was prompt to respond to the crisis after receiving their orders. He implied that it was the prefecture's responsibility for taking too long to comprehend the situation. When did the governor who requested the SDF's dispatch actually become aware of the outbreak of such an unprecedented catastrophe? There's a virus outbreak now? What the hell? Okay. And did he not invite further damage because of the time lost before he sent the request for disaster relief? In other words, because of the bureaucracy. We are awaiting further investigation into the matter. If it's a fucking, like, virus investigation, why is it only, like 2 or 3 days after it all happened, only in this line, that, everything turned, there was... The whole virus, like, virus outbreak things have been happening for every single, like, installment episode so far. Why did they take so long, the last two? All that. Why did they wait so long? If that's true, what is happening? We are awaiting further investigation into the matter. That was Mr. Okada, reporting from the Prime Minister's official residence. At this point, we can take another look at the political response following this disaster. In the middle of the night, between June 21st and June 22nd, oh my K, a large-scale disaster broke out in Hinamizawa village in Shichibone. The details have not yet been investigated, but there's an eruption of volcanic gas from somewhere in the Hinamizawa area. Okay. The gas was relatively heavy, and as it spewed out, it began to flow. That flow went down along a small river, headed directly into Hinamizawa village. After a few hours, it covered the entire region. A small river? Happened in the middle of the night. 2 to 4 a.m. Every home and house in the village was afflicted. With most of the residents asleep, it is thought they all died without noticing the crisis. Everyone is fucking dead? Oh my god. The catastrophe striking in the middle of the night causes detection to come too late. But there was still one small opportunity I've noticed it. 3 a.m. A news dealer shop in Okinomiya sent a vehicle carrying the morning newspaper to its branch office in Hinamizawa. Usually the shop would be contacted upon the vehicle's arrival. This morning that didn't happen. The news dealer's shop made repeated calls but got no response. The shopkeeper sent his eldest son to check on things, but they lost contact with him as well. It is extremely regrettable. They contacted the police or fire department at this point. It's highly possible the situation would have turned out more positively. At the very least, it's possible a portion of the village may have been saved from the tragic annihilation. 6 a.m. Residents in areas in the same region began continuously calling 119 to report the smell of rotten eggs, dizziness, nausea, and headaches. The fire department received the same reports, all from the same confined region. They speculated a truck loaded with chemicals may have gotten into an accident, reported to the local police. What? So just randomly, volcanic gas just erupted out of nowhere this time. What is even happening? 6:30 a.m. Contact was lost with a patrol car on duty in the Hinamizawa area after the official officer reported the smell of rotten eggs. The local police considered the possibility of a large-scale disaster involving highly lethal gas and reported to the prefectural police at 7:15 a.m. Oh, don't tell me that since Keiichi now breathed a tiny bit and smelled the eggs, he's dead now, he's afflicted. 8 a.m. The governor was traveling to nearby prefectures for inspection, so in accordance with regulations, the prefectural environmental disaster prevention chief was provisionally escalated to Director General and set up a disaster countermeasures office. However, without contacting the governor, the countermeasures came too late. As has recently been pointed out by citizens groups, his trip with honorary Diet members to inspect other prefectures was based solely on good relations. It's rumored they preoccupied themselves with a drinking party. A drinking party? Sources closer to him claimed the governor had been drinking all night, had gone to sleep in a drunken state. He was completely drunk when the environmental chief phoned him as well. Apparently he could not get him to pay any attention to the matter. In the 30s, the hour or so it took for the governor to grasp the situation sober up, did nothing but accumulate information. This is really just an extreme case of wait and see then, oh my god. Though not as extreme as the governor's case, the environmental chief, who became Director General in the governor's absence, will likely also be questioned about his negligence. In addition, without any procedures in place on the prefecture's side that predicted catastrophes as massive, they would always react too late, and that ended up being fatal. Literally, this is just the extreme version of that theme. 9:12 a.m. On the advice of the prefectural police, the governor requested a disaster relief mission from the SDF. By the time the Chemical Defense Unit, equipped with protective equipment, arrived on the scene, 8 hours had already passed since the incident's outbreak. Whatever the case may be, It was unfortunate this happened while everyone was sleeping in the middle of the night. Had the same disaster occurred during the day, it likely would have been entirely different. All households in Hinamizawa village region were wiped out. There were over 1,000 victims. The SDF is still confirming the situation on the ground, but the results are predicted to only increase that number. Here with us in the studio today is Dr. Fujiwara, professor at Blank University who is well acquainted with the volcanic disasters. Doctor, can such a sudden and horrible outburst of poisonous gas actually happen? It isn't all that unusual for this to happen right around craters at least. Japan is a volcanic nation, and so is many active volcanoes. There's always a danger of hazardous gas around any of these craters. It's generally a rule among mountain climbers not to go near them. Does this mean the rotten egg smell that visited Hinamizawa was the normal sort of gas in volcanic craters? Judging by how it smelled like rotten eggs, we think it was hydrogen sulfide, a gas seen particularly frequently in accidents compared to other volcanic gases. If it's dense, it becomes extremely dangerous. Hinamizawa village is very far away from the craters of any volcanoes. Can hydrogen sulfide be generated from even a place not close to a crater? I don't know the details, so I can't say anything concrete. But in other countries, there are records of gas eruptions due to magma buildup under hot springs. Extremely rare event, but it's possible for such a thing to happen even in a region not near craters. They're now just putting a lot of the whole town immediately being wiped out by gas, but then they're now putting a lot of vague niceties on whether or not it was purposeful or not. What is happening? Thank you very much, Doctor. We appear to have an announcement from the Japan Defense Agency. Miss Morikawa, are you there? Yes, I am at the Japan Defense Agency. The agency has just made an announcement regarding the source of the Hinamizawa village gas disaster. Analysis from the ground self-defense forces Department of Chemistry has found the gas was a mixture of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. What exactly, is hydrogen sulfide like naturally made in an environment or just a chemical someone had mixed together? Miss Morikawa, do you know whether the gas is still erupting or spreading to nearby areas? According to the SDF's 9th Division, who are currently engaged in a rescue operation in Hinamizawa village, the gas density is steadily decreasing. They announced that the damage will not spread. Oh, how convenient, only the town itself and nothing else. No one can leave, everyone has to die in the town. However, it does not change the fact that the surrounding areas are still in danger, and that very strict observation must be maintained. Well, as long as Shion wasn't in the town, at least then she's fine. Even if she has to deal with her sister and her grandma dead. At least she has her parents out of town then, from the sound of it. And probably the only person that she knows in the town is still alive is Keiichi, unless he doesn't die in the next few seconds of the SDF literally just going sorry, you know too much, kid. Snap neck. Oh god. That was Morikawa from the Japan Defense Agency. And now we have a report on the state of those who have been made to evacuate the Okinomiya area. Shima Shinozaki Elementary School is one of the evacuation sites, and we currently have a reporter on scene. Wait, what? Inside the Jeep, clambering and bouncing on the rough road, none answered my muttered question. An unprecedented catastrophe has struck Hinamizawa in a single night? And I'm assuming your parents, unless they decided to go on a business trip, they all died. Oh god. Where was Hinamizawa village anyway? Someplace deep in the mountains, right? Names of places I heard about on the radio were always like that. They're all places I'd never heard of, much less knew the locations of. Wiped out? What does that mean? Don't they usually say how many died and how many were injured? How many people were alive? Where'd everyone evacuate to? Eventually, we came to view of Coach's clinic. The first time, I saw the flag of Japan hanging on a pole outside. Japan's circular sun hung down as though exhausted. Many SDF tents were set up in the clinic's big parking lot, and many strict security vehicles were parked there as well. When I saw the Jeep coming, men in white clothing and gas masks came running out of the clinic, frantic, carrying a stretcher. You're going to be alright. How do you feel? Can you walk? Yes? Ow, ow. Because my ows, they forced me to lay in the stretcher anyway. People seem like doctors are looking at me and notifying others of my condition via radio. Oh boy. There's no survivor except for you. And all just because you were knocked out because of a whole freak coincidences happening all at once. Was Rika's body reported? Was all this reported? And then Sadako did not mention any of this. I don't know how to feel about that, honestly. Maybe she should sleep on it to, like, think about it more than report it, or she didn't, like, because of all the grief and, like, snapping under the pressure for a bit, then decide to, like, hide it? Actually, since no one saw the two of them, like, leave or anything like that, and they took every precaution imaginable to be seen by the people because Sadako was only in a towel. Oh, God. People who seemed like doctors were looking at me and notifying others of my condition via radio. Multiple wounds. High possibility of fractures and internal damage. Large laceration in the head. Pupils normal, but even without bleeding from the fundus, brain damage is still possible. Oh yeah, concussions. Yes. And then, from the clinic entrance, people lying in stretchers were brought outside to place me. Judging by their clothing, they were from Hinamizawa, and that's how I knew they were victims. They brought the stretchers in front of a truck. Two troops holding shoulders and legs, like some kind of baggage, picked them up and threw them into the truck. In the trunk of the truck, he was bodies piled in heaps. They were just like baggage, and that told me they were already nothing but shells. This actually honestly all extends to also Keiichi's, whether I'm successful or I'm imagined I'm killing a Tepe, then I'm now just seeing people dead as well. Like they're shells now. They're just flesh. In that moment, I remembered all those colorful sacks filling the trucks, and them lined up in the schoolyard like a fish market. I was thinking that. Oh god, those were all the kids? Hundreds of empty shells. Corpses. 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 Corpses! You jackasses! Don't just throw the victims in like that! They lived here! The troops carrying the sacks answered with a humble salute. Ugh. The world didn't need this insane version of Hinamizawa. My final wish, again, it was granted. I didn't understand anything anymore. None of it mattered. I wished, I cursed, and then it happened the next day. Then please, tomorrow morning, let me die. Insane night, it's still going on. Please, please end it already. Huh? Hey, he's lost consciousness! Shout his name! Quickly! Maebara-kun! Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just blink. Maebara-kun! 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 Suddenly, the world didn't matter to me anymore. I wasn't interested in their cries. His breathing stopped. Oh my god. Get his respiratory tract open. Use CPR. Make him live. Damn it. Damn it. No more. No more dead people. Nobody deserves to die. Don't kill him. Don't kill him! I hear the voice of a man crying and screaming in my ears. Nobody deserves to die. Those words came from his heart. They were so commonplace. They soaked into my heart too. Maybe it was a mistake to take someone's life. Even if it was to save Sadako. If this is the price to pay, this horrible tragedy, then this is a little much, Oyashiro-sama. Why did you never punish me? Think of it. Sadako said something. Oyashiro-sama's actual curse. Never goes to the target at first, but kills everyone they love before that. Oyashiro-sama's curse. It was a convenient excuse I told myself at the very end. That it wasn't my curse that destroyed it, but Oyashiro-sama's. Given that I was in a stretcher, this next bit might have been obvious, but last of all, I realized one thing. Yeah. Today, and I heard those footsteps following me, even once. And now, I was liberated. As the cries of the Higurashi I couldn't have been hearing filled my mind, their tearful ensemble was the only funeral march I had. Achievement unlocked, liberation. Oh god. June 22nd, 1983, early morning. A widespread disaster occurred in Hinamizawa village, Shishibone, Blank Prefecture. Volcanic gas, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide erupted from Onigafuchi Swamp, one of the Hinamizawa area's water sources, and spread through the entire village. Man, they really did not like the motorbike and the Satoshi's bat as an offering. They did not like that. The medal. There were 1,200 victims. 20 have gone missing. The catastrophe was unprecedented, forcing local governments to evacuate approximately 600,000 people surrounding. According to later investigations, magma pools and hot springs were uncovered directly under Onigafuchi Swamp. The gas that gushed from it was determined to be the cause of the disaster. What exactly caused it? How did just like a swamp which no one touched in years, so they just formed all that just because of what Keiichi technically did or did not push into the swamp anyway? In addition, directly after the incident broke out, many came forward claiming this disaster was a curse based in Hinamizawa village legends, for sparking a wave of chaos. There are apparently local legends of a curse spreading a miasma, destroying the village. And some scholars believe a similar gas disaster may have happened in the past, remained part of these legends. Oh, well, that's news to all of us. More extreme periodicals suggest this was an extension of the string of freak death incidents that have been occurring in the recent years in Hinamizawa village, storing interest in theories of this curse of Oyashiro-sama. In addition, relatives of those in Hinamizawa village who had escaped the disaster complained of sickness afterwards, and were hospitalized. Some of them even died of unknown causes, further encouraging such extreme opinions. Oh god damn it, Shien's dead too. Fucking god. On top of that, several relatives professing to be possessed by Oyashiro-sama's curse committed suicide in strange ways. Oh yeah, it corresponds to what happened with Shion in the second installment, yay. And the impact the disaster has had on the entire nation can no longer be ignored. Wild visions of terrible toxic gas leaking around in the middle of the night, killing people who spilled across the country. At this point, just no matter what happens, even if you try to cover it up, it's going to be the biggest thing, just the largest news scale event in the entire planet based on how horrible this whole event was, honestly. There's no way around it. Wild visions of terrible toxic gas sneaking around in the middle of the night, killing people spilled across the country, causing a steady stream of people complaining of insomnia, difficulty breathing, headache, dizziness, etc. Oh god, it's like just mass hysteria is slowly taking place now, god damn it. Some who identified themselves as being obsessed by it began doing odd things. Being obsessed by just researching it, or obsessed by the gas? Some of these were mistakenly attributed by the tabloid press. But afterward, some even began to call the mental issues arising from the Hinamizawa tragedy the Hinamizawa syndrome. Okay, it's now just being, oh gosh. The Hinamizawa village region, the object of all kinds of rumors and speculation, is currently closed off. Even flying overhead it is prohibited. The prohibition was, at one point, undone as a result of a decrease in the gas's density. That autumn another gas burst was confirmed, leading to the area being cornered off again. Word is that the area is sound asleep, all traces of its former life intact, and left to rot. It's like modern-day Chernobyl. Only one survivor remains, Keiichi Maebara, age, let's just go with 12 or 13, who lived at blank Hinamizawa village. At the time of rescue, he had some trouble breathing due to fluid buildup in his lungs. As a result of life-saving procedures, he was kept alive. Oh boy. I'm just still waiting for him to die in the hospital or like afterwards for him, because it happens every single time. Even if he like survives in the Hinamizawa, he like immediately gets, he either gets like, you know, murdered later or like dies in the hospital. One of those two. He's currently in a general hospital somewhere in the prefecture. The press have been asking for him for some time, but all interviews are being refused. Honestly, literally just based on how he is, I wouldn't put it past him if he was completely, utterly traumatized by all this. Based on how many things happened in so quick succession, even before things like went to this insane, just the added stress of like just Sadako's situation and messing with him, literally both the whole entire school and village in some cases, and then people will just, yeah, oh my god. Oh god. What did he see in Hinamizawa? What happened between June 21st and June 22nd in Hinamizawa Village? Well, he never saw anything of that, honestly. Today he remains silent and willing to speak of it. Whoa. Great Hinamizawa Disaster and Memorial List. Oh. Holy shit. Investigation suspended. Possibly committed suicide. Burned to a crisp. Went missing during investigation. Went missing for investigation. What the hell? Holy shit. Katsuya Kunatani. Kiyosuke commits suicide. Posse murdered Rika Furude. Gas disaster memorial list. Reina Ryugu, Mion Tsunazaki, Oriel Tsunazaki. Oh my god, so many. Sadako went missing. Teppei went missing. I did not read the rest of that. I have to comb all through this then. Okay, yep, well, there's Shion. She committed suicide at Victim's Hospital. Oh my god. Keiichi attempted. Oh my. Diagnosed with a severe mental disorder due to disaster and ongoing long treatment at the prefecture, refused all interviews and living his days in peace. Is this literally the only one so far where he's actually still alive? Oh god. Literally just means that everyone he's known in the town, at least close, is gone. Okay, I can see why suddenly this series picked up, like, all of a sudden out of nowhere. At least according to, like, just in the author and all that. Just all of that. Like, this is just a... It's like a heel turn, almost. A ghastly just appeared out of nowhere and made all this happen. Okay. Well, at least Keiichi dies from old age this time. The sound of it. Oh god, June blank 2003. No, it's happening. An elderly couple living in Osaka Prefecture discovered a cassette tape while organizing the possessions of their son, who passed away 8 years ago. There's someone missing when his fishing boat capsized in 1985. He was 47 at the time of his death. 8 years later, in 2003, they had begun to organize their son's remains in order to organize their minds. Came across the cassette tape in question. From 1975 to 1989, the deceased had experience working as a journalist for a photography periodical. This tape is thought to have been created during that time. The label on the tape reads, November 28th, 1983, Keiichi Maebara. Is this literally the only interview he decided to give to anyone? It is thought that the tape was recorded during an interview with Keiichi Maebara, the only survivor of the Great Hinamizawa disaster that occurred in June of 1983, but was not publicized. And as the only person who lived through the disaster the night of June 21st, shrouded in mystery, many interested parties attempted to question him, but he never once spoke physically to anyone in a public space. Therefore, the tape caused quite a stir, possibly being of extremely high value. That is only if it's actually his voice. Click. It's really hard to talk about stuff when I know I'm being recorded. Please, no, don't worry about it. Here, it won't be a problem if I do this, right? Do this, the sound quality dramatically decreases. Did you cover the recording device or something? Okay, with a blanket, most likely, or something like that. Then, let's get started. Here's my first question. Keiichi-kun, where were you the night of the great disaster? I had gone behind the shrine, and took a path through the woods for a while. There's a rope bridge there. Oh, it makes sense why he has to lie about this, honestly. God, especially now, just realizing this now. If like the curse is a definite thing, and like Keiichi is definitely sure that he's like accidentally like because of what Sadako said, and he like Keiichi actually fully believes he unintentionally killed everyone. Whether he actually believes or not, or like he did it unintentionally because of mental illness, or like he was possessed. It's actually even worse thinking about if you're possessed and all that, because you feel like it wasn't you. And then, what are you gonna do then? You confess that you technically killed someone, you don't remember it, and you feel like you're possessed at the time? People think you're crazy, and look into it. You just get arrested for that. Or anything like that. Ah. If you know you were possessed, I guess, definitively, and no one's gonna believe you, and... Why would you tell the truth about that? Oh, God. I had gone behind the shrine, then took a path through the woods for a while. There's a rope bridge there, a little while before you get into the mountains. I fell from there and lost consciousness. Did this happen during the night of the disaster, between the 21st and the 22nd? No. Oh god, a terrible thought. It's Sadako's birthday, the 22nd. No, it was the morning of the 21st, on Tuesday, which means I woke up in the afternoon of the next day. I think I was out for a day and a half. Why on earth were you there? I mean, I'm sure everyone wants to know, but the bridge you fell from that day, a weekday, I might add, was quite far from both your house and the school, wasn't it? Yeah. Speaking frankly, there are some who say you knew the great disaster beforehand. How exactly would you even know besides superstition talk? And fell from the rope bridge you were trying to flee the village. This isn't a joke. Please don't be so arbitrary about this. I think it's a terrible thing to say too. Please, don't be offended. Anyway, about the rope bridge you fell from, it was right here on this map, right? The rope bridge would be on the back of the shrine and through the path in the woods. Probably. Never went over there, so I can't say for sure. I guess I just want to know why you were out somewhere you never been before on a weekday morning. And then, well, about the riverbed you fell unconscious on. Have you heard the rumors about that being impossible? Impossible. Oh god, oh no. That word again? Again. For a little while, Keiichi Maebara utters the word impossible several times. Why would it be impossible? You know the volcanic gas originated in Onikafuchi Swamp? Some scholars did some pretty delicate simulations and modeling and discovered something very interesting. The volcanic gas is heavier than the air, so when along the ground, flowing into lower and lower places, kind of like water does. I was thinking that the small stream, if that was the exact stream that Keiichi fell in, and he still survived there. So, like, was Keiichi, like, if it was premeditated, like, someone knew ahead of time the disaster was gonna happen, but then since no one else found anyone, like, there's people who went missing for sure, so literally the only people who could have done it, or like, my first thought is moved Keiichi's body somewhere, then like after the disaster happened, moved it right back. For some reason. Because if he was there on the ground and the gas is heavier than air, like a certain poison with him, Spirit Gunyear and all that references, then he definitely shouldn't be even alive at all if he was breathing in for several hours straight. Ugh. Even if, like, there's even some shrines and houses which are, like, above, like, like, higher than that, and he still managed to survive that. And it went a long stream. I'm assuming it's the same exact stream he fell from, then. So how? Did someone find him and move his body, but then decide to... Again, why move him back? That's literally the only thing. Or literally just someone just decided to put a gas mask on him for the night and just took it off of him the next day. Like, realizing he was still alive, but, all that. It doesn't make any sense. He was found, like, sleeping face down on a cushion. The volcanic gas is heavier than the air, so along the ground, flowing to lower and lower places, kind of like what water does. With Onigafuchi Swamp as its source, they were able to test how much time it would take for the gas to erupt and spread across the whole village. So, well, that riverbed you weren't conscious on, the gas, it would have flowed down there. I don't really understand what you're getting at. In other words, if you really were passed down the riverbed, you would have been in the middle of all the toxic gas that was spreading everywhere that night. That means there was no chance you could have passed out there. Or they're bringing up the whole thing of, like, this is not really the real Keiichi anymore, and he technically, really truly died when he passed out, like, on the clinic. And something else possessed him. There's that possibility as well. It feels so too coincidental. There's mass conspiracy at hand here now. But let me be a little more frank. Your name is Frank now. I think that maybe you won't be telling a lie. During the Great Disaster, you were hiding in a safe place, keeping an eye out for when the gas got thinner, then reappeared and were secured by the CDF. How about that? Is that right on the mark? For a short time, the journalist presses Keiichi Maebara further, in a teasing way, but all that can be heard are heavy sighs. Even if that was the case, I wouldn't be surprised at this point. What do you mean you wouldn't be surprised? Was this recording really taken of Keiichi Maebara? Some harbor suspicions. Oh boy. You said it before, didn't you? That it was impossible. Impossible things happen in Hinamizawa all the time. There are people who shouldn't be existing. Dead people end up alive. It's not really that unusual. Never thought I, of all people, would be asked to prove that I was still alive when I was supposed to have died. He does act the same, though, so there's that, too. Okay. The journalist and Keiichi Maebara both laugh for a while. To verify its authenticity, had the others in the Maebara family check the tapes with his voice in it. However, the sound was not clear and much time had passed. Relatives I checked with couldn't remember what he sounded like. I was unable to gain positive proof it was actually his voice. That's foreboding, actually. Especially since there was even one line where both Reina and Mia basically point blank said aloud, Keiichi, was that your voice? Alright then, I'll change the subject. What do you think of the debate about whether this disaster was the curse? The 5th year of the serial freak death incidents in Hinamizawa. I don't think it was. That was the curse that year, after all. What do you mean? I would just answer the question. Doubts also remain regarding the date, November 28th, were in the tape. Yeah, I can believe there'd be so much doubt around this. The curse, well, you probably won't believe me when I tell you this. I was the one who caused it. I was the one who wished the whole village had died, and it happened. What an exciting story. Exciting? I suppose you could call it that. After Keiichi Maebara's failed suicide attempt on a certain August day 2 months after the disaster, he was diagnosed with a mental disorder and transported to a treatment facility. I was the one who killed Takano-san, and Coach, and Oishi too. At the time, I had some kind of divine power. Yes, I suppose it was like footsteps. Footsteps? Wait, what's that supposed to mean? Have you never heard footsteps before? You know, like tip-tap? Click-click? Coo-coo-coo, what? What? The facility never allowed any news coverage, so it's extremely unlikely. A tape from the media dated after August 1983 would have his voice on it. That's even weirder. Today, when you're walking around, try stopping suddenly. Something interesting will happen. Anyway, if you hear an extra footstep, even though you've already stopped walking, you better be careful, you know. Okay. Yes, I'll be careful. Okay, you're slowly thinking he's insane too. Okay. Is what I'm saying really that funny to you? However, the reporter had been criticized for his forceful methods of collecting data while he was active. So there's a possibility that he broke into the facility and forced Keiichi Maebara to talk. Oh my god. You've been doing nothing but laugh in my face this whole time. You're just like Coach. You pretend to sympathize with me, to listen to what I have to say, but your eyes are telling me you think I'm a lunatic. That's not true. I think it is. No, I can tell. Your eyes are the same as Coach's. Is this truly Keiichi Maebara's voice? The authenticity of this recording is still wrapped in mystery. I never heard the footsteps again after that day. I don't think I had that terrible power anymore. Perhaps, right here, right now, I'll wish for you to die. I'll wish for your death for saying all these unpleasant things. Yes, this time, why don't I decide how you die? Takano-san was burned to death, so let's go with the opposite. With water. I hope you drown and die. How's that? 15 years of this tape was created, the reporter, as Keiichi Maebara predicted, died in an accident out in the sea. Like, not the next day, but if I'm in a top form like I was then, you'd die before tomorrow morning for sure. Top form. So, you were... So you basically, like, did... Okay, hold on a second. Oh my god. Did Keiichi get out of the goddamn, like get out of the facility, and then the next day, the reporter went on the sea and died and went missing? Oh my god. If I'm in top form like I was then, you'd die before tomorrow morning for sure. Now then, wonder how many days it'll be how many days it'll take you to drown. Oh my. You better be careful, you know. Don't go getting yourself killed by some stupid curse I put on you, okay? Alright then. The recording ends in the middle of Keiichi Maebara's laughter. And Keiichi Maebara... Late in the night of November 30th, 1983, 2 days of the interview, he suddenly died from a high fever, cause unknown. Okay, never mind, I thought you said he lived a good life. Records remain of the strange words he kept giving after pressing the call button the day before he died. An extra set of footsteps. Well, he's never gonna get out of town anyway at this point. They lied. That goddamn noise again. Alright then. Okay, that's overblown with the white foothog. Okay. Wow, new scenario has been unlocked. Wowee. Everything was going all honky-dory, doing realistic, child abuse case, and then I went to supernatural like that. The Great Hinamizawa Disaster achievement unlocked. Oh my god. Holy shit. Wow, that was chapter 13. Let's just go immediately to that thing. My god, that's just a lot to take in. Like, they didn't actually introduce something, like, new a bit. Like, we're just gonna keep going on with this whole thing. It was weird considering, like, it was more focused on, like, Sadako's, like, past and, like, you know, the curse and all that. It did slow down a bit and actually, like, sharing anything about the curse until, like, literally this very ending. This very ending, and that small curveball, the very end. That just, And again, it still feels way too coincidental, unless it's like, what was it? Was sulfur, like, what was it again? I forget the chemical name on top of my head, but like, I don't know if it's naturally man-made or anything like that, but like, it literally just, those underground springs just appeared out of nowhere. Like the day of like someone just Keiichi just pushing the motorbike in. He never actually got his answers anyway. Nothing. And nothing else. That was just that just took a turn out of fucking nowhere. Okay, what are you able to say about this? Okay. Actors, act out the questions. Okay, yay. Thank you very much for enjoying Higurashi when they cry. Chapter 3. Tatori Goroshi. How'd you like it? It had a different sort of atmosphere than the previous chapters. Yes, it's more realistically dark. Instead of him, oh my god, paranoia and everything. I'll be happy if you enjoyed it, Hoshi. A bad ending again. A time which we're so fond of, huh, Hoshi? Personally, I wanted to get a scene of the gas coming in. The villagers spasming and foaming the mouth one by one before dying. You don't think so too? If we're all only in Keiichi Maebara's point of view, then that's never gonna happen. Never. Never. Of course I do not think so! Again! It happened again! It's never gonna end happily, Sadako's actor. A huge bad end. Huh? Michan, you sure seem happy with that bad end. Morbid curiosity. Morbid sense of humor. Like me. Hi, Shion. Well, it's more like all we can honestly do at this point is laugh. The terrible endings have been escalating through each chapter and finally reach a culmination, I suppose. How's that gonna get worse than this in the next chapter? With the final question arc one? Okay. Everyone died together as friends. I do not think so at all. No. Literally. It feels like everyone basically just buckled down. Everyone got so stressed out from a lot of things happening at once, and slowly their bond just like frayed and everything like that. The last time that Keiichi ever saw them, like literally just you don't have a choice, so why'd you go treasure hunting with Reina and Mion? Yeah, no, just that, no, it just severed off, no. And Sadako thought Keiichi was a murderer, which, based on everything happened and the stress and all that, I do not blame her at all for like breaking down or having that kind of thought. I don't think anyone were friends anymore by the ending, no. And you were dead. Don't know who killed you or anything like that. You were cut open, so I don't know if friends is the right way to be. Together in death as friends, yeah, okay, sure. As friends, Napa, Hoshi. I guess you can say that. No, I don't. I don't think you can say that at all. I die every time, though. I'm a little tired of it. Well, I mean, do you have to act out your death scene, like, secretly off camera every single time? Or are you just not getting enough screen time for your tastes? Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. It would be nice to have an ending where I didn't die once in a while. I don't think it's ever gonna happen. Not at this point. If it is, you're just gonna live for a tiny bit and then die immediately. That's legit how it is gonna be. That or you go missing. It's gonna be one of the things where this time, Takano gets found in the oil drum instead, and Tomotaki then goes missing. I still don't know exactly how to take anything of there's nothing new to like extrapolate of for different deaths happening this time. Especially since it was made completely clear the whole gas thing happened in the swamp, in between the night. Unless they're gonna say there's some fumes that happened beforehand, which decided to smoke, to go into the air and all that. Which wouldn't exactly make sense because none of the other installments had something similar happen. That was just a complete buck wild ending. It was very interesting and engaging though. Tomotaki-san, you're kind of like a time signal. When you die, it's like, oh, we're in the second half now. Not this time. Not this time. Not this time. Kind of. Yeah, laugh at your character's death. Okay, now here are our guests that debuted in this chapter. Everyone give a big round of applause for his coach, Ivy Kiyosuke-san. I'm honored to have your introduction. We're never going to see you again, ever. Hello there. I was a minor character, but having a full portrait like this makes me feel really important. Really full important. You're never going to appear again, are you? Just from that sound of it. Oh my god. It's true. You had too many appearances, too much dialogue, and too strong a role for a minor character. Yeah, it would probably be weird, honestly, if you didn't have any portraits, honestly. Oh, gee. I don't know much I'll get to appear from... Don't know how much I get to appear from here on, so please root for me. Now. I mean, you as screen time, yes, you're a good actor, but the character, please stop. No, I don't trust him at all. I don't trust him at all. Thank you very much. Next up is our teacher, Chi-sensei. She's not a guest. She's been in every single one so far. Okay, but she's gonna be here on the doing questionnaires and the QAs. Okay. Hello, everyone. I've been appearing in various scenes, and this time I was given that memorable scene, the Curry Showdown. This time? That happened in the last installment. Just can't forgive those who would slight Curry. Oh, you act just like your character then. Okay. Yes, I wonder. Oh, someone give Chi-sensei a seat, please. Please put her far away from me, please. Just put a huge brick partition up in between. Okay, everybody's here. Reina, you can go do the honors again. Questions, theories, go. Which side are you on? I'm in the middle now, honestly. I still think Curse is at fault here, honestly. Okay, everyone, please pick up the cup nearest to you on your table. Have plenty of different drinks. These other parties have really gotten lively. How many do we have here now? Including us, I think there are about 10 people. Now we finally have the same number of minors and adults. Right, really. We can all drink without being ashamed. You'll still get shamed. Speaking of beer, how is it that something so delicious when cold turns so bad when warm? Beer just tastes bad no matter what. I've had several. There's only one I can tolerate. The 7 wonders of the world, I'd say. I wonder why. Both of you just have the exact same voice to me. Like, God, I can't do 10 unique voices all at once. Ah! We literally got 2 people with the exact same voice, Tomataki and Oishi, and then you two. God damn it. Well, you have like, Takano has a more innocent, morbid sense I'm trying to give. I'm pretty sure it's not coming through at all. Okay, I'll pour some beer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? Who's the 6th? Huh? There were 6 adults here? Meep. Push the cup off the table. I would like the foamy barley tea as well. The wheat juice. Wheat juice. Pikachu, you can't drink. I mean, technically she can. But it'd be illegal to do so. She can drink. What she shouldn't drink is what you should say. Grammar. Only time I'll bring up grammar at all. Anyway, Reina-san, let's get this moving. Okay. Can I have everyone's attention, please? Grape juice. Into a cup. Alrighty, everyone. Excellent work in the Tadarugoshi chapter. Cheers! Cheers! Yay! I just had to clap. Annoying. Okay, then. I do not like that face you're making. It just feels weird and wrong to me. Let's get down to our traditional plot discussion. Traditional. Is this now a new ritual? Still, though, this chapter just confuses yet again. It's literally everyone until the answer arc happens. You should already know this by now. Well, if anyone has an opinion, please raise your hand. Opinions are for nerds. I don't want being so discreet. No hands. Just slight hand beneath the table. Then why don't I break the ice? Grab a sledgehammer then. Go for it. Oh, excuse me. Could you change the music, please? You printably changed it before it even happened. Oh my. Something a little more mysterious. Okay. Yeah, that's good. The mood has been set. Okay. Alright, Takano-san, take it away. I think that just by pouring over the Tatarigoroshi story, the mystery won't be revealed. No. I know what you mean. Obviously, that's how the stories have been set up. Was there something like that in particular? I don't know if I'm right. But Onikakushi, when Maebara-kun was eating in the restaurant with Oishi-san, Suzuki-san found out, and it was a little mysterious, right? We already scored this away. Y'all are, like, way too behind for my taste. Something mysterious in Onikakushi, but after reading Watanagashi, a few things made a lot of sense. Yeah, honestly. When I mentioned a restaurant with cute uniforms during the story, it must have meant Angel Mort. And Angel Mort is owned by the Sonozaki family, so they own everything. Someone who knew Kei-chan was there too and told me. It actually makes a good amount of sense, right? That's what we mean. There are subtle differences in the Higurashi stories. I think there are 3 feats that are the same for each. The character settings, for example. Character settings. What do you mean by that? I was scaring Onikakushi, but that wasn't only because it was... That wasn't only because it was Onikakushi. Because my character was the exact same in all 3 stories. Is that it? Generally speaking. I agree with the characters being exactly the same. The most extreme case being me dying the same way in the same place every time. No matter which story it is, you always die the same day. Should we just have a chain and just shackle you to somewhere and, like, you can't leave ever? There's a scene where during the war to Nagashi, Takano-san and Tomataki-san sneak into the ritual implement storehouse. The same scene may have still happened in the stories, even though it wasn't portrayed, honestly. I think it still happened. Save for a few events, the weather of the day of the festival, we did in the club, and Sadako's uncle coming home. It's almost all the same. So what caused the butterfly effect? And the butterfly effect, literally the uncle just coming to town made sure that the entire town died just because he appeared. It was all his fault. All his fault. Shame him. Castrate him. Crucify him. The stories are told in exactly the same environment each time. Why do they end up being so different? Some behind the scenes. And we think from the perspective of a general adventure game in the suspense genre, sometimes the story branches depending on choices, right? This is a complete just connect novel, though. I think that's the right term, actually. Where, like, literally we're just following along with no such choices. Let's lay just all this. So, Montaganashi, the point where you do or don't give the doll to my sister. And I have a bad end for my choice so early on. That's pretty scary. So that just means, like, does the console ports literally just have, like, a bunch of, like, the smaller details, like, they do one or two at a time, and then, like, that doll choice happens early on, like, do a yes or no to the doll thing, and then you're just set onto one path. I'm honestly just curious, like, at least some, how to go to, like, those routes. Does that mean the console ports, like, have the answer routes, like, answer arc, like, chapters already hooked up to the choices? That must be weird as hell. Like, to literally go through like, you know, answer arc, which explains practically everything, and then you go back and, like, oh, I know what happens here. Well, that makes all sense now. Or, like, hopefully answer arcs are literally just their own set narrative, and, like, they just find out, like, what happened, like, you know, in a roundabout way. Like, what's a good way to put this? Like, something mysterious happens this day, like, it gives, like, one small thing to focus on, but, it doesn't explain what it is, but, like, each other, I guess, chapter explains one facet to possibly explain it, just the same way as, how Mion technically learned about Keiichi, like, talking to Oishi at the Angel Mort when Shion works here, and, like, she has some friends working at Angel Mort, like, you know, it's owned by the Sonozaki family, like, that kind of stuff. Like, that kind of, like, I guess, answers. It's not fully explained outwards, but, like, you know, it gives context, honestly. That's the word. It gives context in the answer. Well, And Tadari Goroshi, maybe whether you decide to kill the uncle or not. But the uncle appears. I think it was way before that. I think it branched back when the uncle's cohabitant disappeared because of some trouble. Returned to Hinamizawa. Yeah, exactly. What kind of choice leads to someone's cohabitant dying when a Keiichi doesn't leave the town at all? How? How? Has he talked to someone before then who does all this? Then when was the first branch in Onikakushi? I think it was when I appeared and started talking about the serial freak death incident related to Oyashiro-sama's curse. But no, that doesn't make sense. Because the first time he appeared, that's what sets on the path of Onikakushi with Reina's thing. The first time you appeared in this one, you were insensitive fucking jerk, so no, veto. Veto theory. Bad theory. Bad. For shame. Shovel the shame. No. You know, I just thought of something. Keiichi-san gave the doll to Mion-san. If what you saw my uncle had appeared, would we not have spent our time in peace without anything happening? I see. Sadako's gone right to the point. You're right. You can say that again. Maybe we should pray Oshi's son and her uncle don't show up in this dark story. The minute they appear, immediately shoot them in the head. Then we can prevent Sonozaki-san from getting in a bad mood. Everyone will be happy. Yay, big sis, you're needed for the bad ending. Be careful, everyone. If you make my sister mad, you're sure to get a bad end. What are you saying? Shion? Next time I'll make sure to be merciless in the pain I put you through. That sounds like you want to put it into real life, then. You can cry and apologize as much as you like. It won't work. Just you wait. Okay. We can't solve any of the mysteries thus far, but we seem to have put together a plan for how to get the story to end happily. Then literally just going along with Rika's story, it falls exactly the same way, and it still ends badly. There is no happy ending here. Every second you're in this town, and no matter what happens, just being in this town just curses you for all eternity. Nothing you do matters. You're always gonna get, like, all that. The only happy ending you'll ever get is something bittersweet. That's the only thing, the only good ending is going to happen. Something very bittersweet, where a lot of bad things happen, but somehow, in some way, in some fashion, turns out happy. But a lot of tragedy behind it. That's the only way people can actually survive and, like, live happily after the ending of this town. Well, at least now Hinamizawa turned an actual ghost town, and no one actually wants to go and live there, and can't even access without possibly dying because of fumes. So yeah. That gives a good incentive for why no one wants to go there again. I wonder if that would really make us happy. Well, I mean, for the main cast, but not you. You be alone. You deserve it. Mochi-san, Teppei, Hojo-san don't show up. Mion-san gets the doll. Is that all we have to make sure of? You're right. We're all forgetting the most important thing. Remember the Great Hinamizawa disaster? Exactly how is that even going to happen at all? You can't prevent natural disasters. Technically it didn't happen at all. So, in the other route, so, how exactly do you prevent this one if it just appears out of nowhere? That's literally just the final thing. Even if you manage to get everyone happy, the disaster comes out of nowhere. Literally just, 11, like, just purely just 12 whole entire chapters of just slice of life, happy fun go times, and then 13 chapter comes along and just, suddenly... No, the epilogue just comes and say just, everyone die in their sleep. The end. Have fun. Should we have everyone in the village put on gas masks and move away? Have fun trying to preemptively do that. It's probably Oyashiro-sama's curse. So we need to make sure not to make Oyashiro-sama angry. Yeah, but he's very temperamental. So, have fun with that. Especially since some characters already are cursed before even Keiichi comes here, so that's impossible now. It's impossible. Have fun. This is getting a little tricky. We mustn't anger Oyashiro-sama, huh? And what should we do in order to prevent that? Repent your sins. The damn product itself is probably not the question. If there was never a damn product in the first place. You have a time machine on hand or something? That would be hard. If it didn't happen, we would need a ritual to quell Oyashiro-sama's anger. Seeking a sacrifice in the Onikafuchi swamp. A ritual sacrifice. Okay. A sacrifice? Who do we sacrifice? The one person causing all the pain and trouble in this town. Who that is, I don't know. Come on, use your head. Yeah, slam into the door to unlock it. Someone's destined to drop out from the story no matter what happens. Keiichi? He's gonna die anyway, though. We might as well have it help out Hinamizawa. Screw you. When you say someone who drops out no matter what, you're talking about me, aren't you? I knew all along. I knew you had some important role in this story, Jiro-san. We'll get you to play your part, Hoshi. Okay. And with that, we have a blueprint for getting a nice, happy, good ending, don't we? Let's give it a try so we have time. I'll grab the knife. You grab a weapon. I'll grab the hatchet. Everyone involved, come over here. Oh god. First, we stop Uncle Hojo, whose liver ran out on him, from turning to Hinamizawa. How exactly? Hiya, my name is Uncle Hojo. He has no portrait, so I'm standing in Hoshi. Okay. Thank god. So I'm so lonely and blue because my lover ran away. Ah. Oh god, this is too cheesy for my goddamn brain. Trying to go back to Hinamizawa, lock up Sadako, and ha, raise her into a maidservant. I know it's meant to be a joke, but that sounds so fucking insensitive right now. Why don't I take my motorbike back? I'll just put in the key and click. Huh? Okay, okay. Bomb. Judgment! Oh my god. Judgment! To ashes and dust shall you return. Okay. Sadako-chan, don't you think this was a little too much gunpowder? There's not enough gunpowder for him. Coach is alright. No. Next, we stop Oishi from showing up. Slash the tires. Me this time? God damn it, I hate this. This is too cheesy. My name is Kurado Oishi. Oishi? A hot, good-looking, middle-aged man who looks like a blues singer. Let's cut out the first two. What was that click? Kaboom! Meep! Judgment for you! What the fuck? And least we forget a follow-up service for our sister. Come here, big sis. Sledgehammer. There's a cute little doll for you, Hoshi. Oh, how nice. Something about that just doesn't sit right with me. No, just your brain, just not liking this at all, the same way with me. And finally, you must quell Shiro-sama's anger. And more or less, actor, please come up. Well, I mean, since you kind of already, it feels like you're involved with him, dying and then dying in return anyway, then it feels natural you just shove him into the swamp. Die him fast, rub him up and hang him. I thought you were dead, act dead, or play the part, you're an actor. Do it, pretend to be dead. You'll sing for 3 days, right? I'm not that patient, let's get it over with. Cement ties, motorbike, car, shove through. God damn it. With that, the case has been closed. The case... I don't know if this is technically a case. Wow, the movie was weirdly really short. Hoshi. Oh no, all of a sudden this arm of mine is glowing with an awesome power, Hoshi. What? This power corpse is a pretty big deal. What? Okay. Well, technically there's 3, and one's missing. The other 2 are burned to a crisp. Or their party parts are strewn about the street. Either way. Huh? It's the phone! I wonder who it is. Hello? Oh, Keiichi-kun? Thanks for all your hard work. Yeah, looks like you're all having a roaring old time. Yet here I am, busy with reading the scenario for the next story. Whatever. I'm in a good mood today, so I'll let you off without any teasing. Is she on there? Oh, you're talking to her first? Immediately. Ah, shit material. God. Can you put her on? What? You're gonna announce it here? I want to keep it a secret for a while longer, but okay. A secret between Shion-san and Keiichi-san? What? But what do you mean? Nobody told me about this. Nobody. About what? What do you know? Okay, Keiichi-san, let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. The main character of the next story will be Shion Tsunazaki. What? What? Are you serious? Yeah, so that's that. The one top in the popularity chart since her first appearance. Yes! Yes! If that's true, oh my god. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yes. Thank you. I'm happy now. The appearing younger sister of twins being popular has been the pattern of things ever since the days of TH. TH? What's TH? I have no idea what that means, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, I've been fired from my main character post for once. For once, then why are you still reading? Does that mean we're actually gonna see some goddamn fucking sprites of Keiichi next chapter? Oh my gosh, this is revolutionary technology. If the rumors are right, I might even get a portrait finally. Thank you for citing the exact same thinking I had. Yahoo! You have time dedicated to you now. Well, portraits of Keiichi would be a big waste of disk space. Disk space? I forgot, like that's probably how this whole game was probably released back in the day in the 2000s. I still remember how literally just playing those when I was extremely young, in my single-digit years. If we can all fit on one disc, there's plenty of high chance they'd be the first one dropped. Man, are you okay with this, Shion-san? Main character always meets some triple fate in the end, honestly. But like, since we're gonna be in her head, it's gonna be fun. It's always gonna be fun, honestly. She's probably the most intriguing character for me of the whole cast, especially since we already know that she's a minor character offshoot from the rest of the cast. And she's definitely been the most blunt and like, I guess trying to like what is the word for it? Get rid of any misunderstandings or such like that. And like calling people out in like some weird like social norm bullshit they're doing, like the whole Keiichi with thinking she's actually a bit of a troublemaker and all that. Can lie and act and all that, like not maliciously though. She's honestly just a fun person all around. Great. Oh, she's great. Main character always meets some terrible fate in the end. Well, until now. How do you know that? Is that spoilers that you actually still survive? At least finally, at least one person survives. Doesn't necessarily mean it'll happen next time. Wait, that means Talon's like technically. Sadako and Riko are still alive at Onikakushi. Wasn't if I met Shion then. That means Shion survived then. Oh my god! She actually survived in one of the routes this time! Oh my god! With Tadaro Goroshi, we've already had the third game in Higurashi When They Cry series. This first half presented a lot of strange and exciting mysteries. Starting next time, mysteries will start being solved in the second half, marking the start of the investigation arc. Temporary name. Okay. But I thought the next one is still the questions arc. That means it'll be a thrilling story where I become a detective and solve all these crazy, unfair mysteries. Honestly, that'd be fantastic. You'd all better think of good signature phrases. Oh god, catchphrases. Like, you, sir, are the criminal, Hoshi. Okay, how about it? Got a ways to go. It won't happen, never. No, you shut your mouth up, duct tape her, tie her up, come on. You'll get too close to the three family secrets, be imprisoned, and get tormented. You're shoo-in to meet a unnatural death. Sis, I should say the same to you. Are you mentally prepared for me to see through all your mysteries and secrets, and have you apologize to me and commit suicide? Okay. No chance that all your Shiro-sama is cursed for me, is there? But, well, there was that tip note saying, you're technically, I guess, like, the Legend of Zelda version of just, the goddess Hylia, being reincarnated as, a Hylian woman, so, there's that. God, Fane Destiny, you're the next coming of Christ. Anyway, a new story to begin the second half, temporarily called Meikashi, or Eye-Opening, is currently undergoing diligent development. We should be able to unveil it to you all in the near future, so I hope you'll look forward to it. Look forward to it very soon. Onikakushi, Watanagashi, and Tatarigo Roshi. What truths will you all come up with after reading these three stories? Will you just come up with more questions instead of theories? Well, I mean, just like the beginning of this one, it was a fucking lie that it was a sort of scenario. Fucking lie it is. But I would say there's not a lot of room for conjecture, and honestly, just leaves a lot of questions. Like, there's, the first two stories give a lot more nuance and give, like, questions and maybe answers. But, like, this one was mostly just all just simple phrase questions, exactly what caused this, what caused that, but everything of the question that can be answered, you can only have the answers be done off screen. And since we were always in Katie's perspective in this whole time leading up to this, and yeah, that's not going to get answered anytime soon, unless you do a perspective shift at some point in the story, which for these kind of stories usually, yeah, no, never gonna happen unless like the next installment like is different and all that. Honestly, something very, very dramatic happens, like them dying. But usually when a character dies, it's always the end of it. Credits roll. There we go. You never learn anything else. Have fun. Or we could just come up with more questions instead of theories. Rain has no clue either. For all you warriors who never yielded to these three mysteries and kept on fighting, we present you with one final scenario as thanks for enthusiasm. One which we never originally planned on giving you. One what? Please enjoy it. Final scenario? Oh, it was only planned to be like just a 4-part series. Huh. And then it just doubles? That's hilarious, honestly. Or just the author was just blatantly lying. That's just funny. Achievement unlocked! The Tatarigo Roshi party. Okay. So, like, that was literally just all the tips then? All of this? Man, my brain hates this. Why wasn't there just 4 more, just, one sentence long things? I really just wanted that for no reason. Fill it out. Fill out the 3-page things. Okay, but I'm gonna give it a chance to actually read back over the credits list and just, I'll probably just read through it. Maybe. I'll probably just read through it on my own time and like maybe formulate maybe something or other. I'm pretty sure I'll not think of any new theories from all this. It's just this instead just gave more context than anything else of just mostly just Sadako's story and anything else. So, there's nothing about the curse or anything about the damn product itself. It was focusing more on just Keiichi like suddenly just going to kill the uncle who just appeared out of nowhere, like that's like taking over almost everyone's life inadvertently just by him forcing Sadako to do everything in the house and all that. I do also like that little small moment we actually learn a bit more about Keiichi. I guess his backstory, even if it's only slightly a bit. Because like I'm mostly in these kinds of like stories and like visual novels and stuff like that. Usually the main characters always like have like as little personality or blank personality or just like the most hero qualities possible. But I usually do just like this like the main characters just have their own personality and like be their own separate character than just quote unquote audience surrogate. And like when I had like when stories like do that, I can focus on just how the character like specifically reacts in this and that circumstances, and it feels like that's their own how they would normally react to it, and it still feels in character and just like how someone with that kind of personality would react. Those are the most intriguing to me. Yeah. There's only been a few games where I'm like the main character was bland, and sorry about that. It was only bland, but then like they give a few things like to label exactly like to make up for like why they're bland in the first place. So like they're bland, but like the action they do on the way there like makes up for it a bit, or at least at the very least they have a unique dynamic with another character which they can bounce back and forth on, like not just like they're just blandly like making decisions like almost like a con man would do, but because they're like a blank slate almost, or like have just a specifically taken aback feeling from everything else. And when there was someone who's like more bombastic or like more unique, and they go back and forth on dynamic, then it works well just well there. Nice, is actually something unique coming out of it here. Honestly, I feel like it comes up like a few times in this story. Plus, we're usually in Keiichi's head a lot for like long bits of narration of like how he jumps from one thought to the next, which honestly is pretty nice. It's pretty good. He actually feels like his own separate character. He's not a blank slate, that's for sure. Like several times he is his own special person. He gets some very flustered easily at some points. He has his own thing of like getting out of situations when he's like there's a possibility of like actually getting out of situations in the heat of the moment most of the times. His plans don't go 100% the plan, even though his plans are good in the moment. But usually, like either the other person on the other end of the scope literally just sees what he's thinking of and plans it out further and all that. And that's one thing of like people still can like tell what Keiichi is thinking, but then it just drops later on. I don't know just because his thoughts just become more complex and they can't read that, or just literally just because either just it's really just like just a joke for like the first half and like doesn't carry on to the next. Like there's definitely some points where like just you can tell it's obviously meant to be a joke and don't take it seriously, and then just drop it the very second it gets to the other half. It could be that whole thing too, but it feels like it comes up a bit too often for all that to like make sense of those groan-worthy moments of I just like indie windows and those kind of jokes where that happens once and then never brings up again. Feels like should like pop up again. But I definitely think still thinking of a curse anyway, because honestly, unless something like, a large grand scheme wise is happening that causes a giant, and I do mean a giant natural disaster to occur and only affect the town and no one else. Apparently the town literally thinks that nothing like no one else when died or missing. That means if it was someone who caused the whole natural like thing, it was an actual person who did it, they basically just put themselves back in the town to like not raise suspicion. That or they're somewhat closely tied to what happens in the town and they don't live in there currently. Hmm. Can only be one of those. There's definitely something that plays like there's they still explain about the doctors and like those random people who choked out Keiichi and Onikakushi the very first installment, and the syringes which appeared like twice in like the first two installments and all of that. And it feels like if like the natural disaster was, I guess, was like by design to happen, then they had to bring that up at some point for the like what the, I guess, the answer arcs in general, that are literally just the disaster just happened in this route, like no matter what, for some reason. Oh my gosh, like whatever like Keiichi did, like the stress, it built up rain clouds that caused the whole place to go flash flooding in the day of the festival, which then culminated into the swamp being twisted and churned like a thick soup, and then, and only then, the gaseous noxious fumes then appear and kill everyone just because of that, because the stirring of the goddamn motorbike and all that. Hmm. I still do think that it feels like I don't know how to take the uncle's death actually at this point, honestly, because they definitely like at the ending like try to like push it towards Keiichi having mental illness. The same part, like it seemed like there's a few people bring up illusions of grandeur and all that, but again, there was several times which still fall into his character of really just he has a good enough plan, but things don't go according to plan, which is realistic for not to. Uh, Keiichi basically like bringing the lantern, a shovel to dig a grave, planning to like, attack the uncle in one specific location, like all that. Launch, since it's a motorbike, literally just shove him off the bike out of nowhere in the from the bushes. Uncle gets dazed. Keiichi starts hammering down on him and like injures him. Then the uncle runs far away from the grave is, and then Keiichi catches up and hasn't been injured too much at all, because from the sound of it, just the uncle was just complete flight mode and just protecting his head from being dazed and all that. And then Keiichi literally had to make a new grave right then and there, and was so completely exhausted he had to move the bike and risk getting seen from other people, even though like most likely they didn't. Then like throwing the bat and the motorbike into the swamp and all that. He was too tired, and I had to do a surface level dig and put the grave in. It doesn't seem like things have went all entirely according to plan. Especially with Takano, who's implied to have killed Tomataki, or at least had some involvement in it. Especially even though the whether like she led him to his death by like leading him to an ambush or something like that, or just like the police definitely mentioned the very first game on Kakush that like four people are most likely the ones to ganged up on Tomataki to make him feel flustered to like throw around a log and like just to fend them off while also scratching his own throat for some reason. But he wasn't like no syringe. It's implied Tomataki died from the syringe still anyway. So does that mean like either those four people attacked Tomataki, like entered him a syringe or something like that, and like then he started freaking out like very rapidly? I guess that could make sense. But oh gosh, actually, those two men literally did strangle him and just leave him behind. There could be the possibility of the syringe like injection happening there for whatever reason, just leaving without a trace almost. It just feels like there's too many open circumstances to happen. Definitely feels like maybe like the syringe thing tied to like three family secrets anyway, at the very least. Hmm. There's probably definitely some missing context happening. It's just the sound of that whole ending just all cast review thing right here with the session. There was only meant to be like four stories planned to cover like each individual part of the friend group, but then the author then decided to have got some more ideas how to expand the story. Well, just him like explaining more nuances or like having some new scenarios which he thinks are way better than the previous ones, or like just fun to explore in all totality. Hmm. One of those kind of scenarios. Maybe like the like most of the answer arc like stories of things he came up with on the spot. Only the next one was really all he had planned before realizing, maybe we can add some more details to make it more easy to figure out what's going on. And it's still then you have to piece things together, like some things are just subtly implied of what the answer is and all that. There's no clear answers, just like just like organically being shown of like how Mion like learned about Keiichi, like talking to Oishi privately at Ancient More, which is because Sonozaki family owns the place, all that, organically given, like, answers and all that. There's probably definitely way more red herrings that I'm being snagged on, maybe, possibly, which are still continuing on from now, which will then just be completely contradicted later on. Uh maybe the next question arc, or literally just in the answer arc, honestly. Contradicted, and then the answer's given and all that, if the name is true to its word and all that. So, I am really, really intrigued to actually see how main character Shion actually works. Like how like her thoughts would be like, especially since like she lives in Okinomiya. Does that mean like like is it like she just gonna be the main character for at least the next chapter only? And then it goes back to Keiichi, or like it goes back and forth to different chapters for like the answer arcs? Or literally just maybe the author just let it change tact and just put Keiichi back as the main character for the next one, and plans to have Shion as the protagonist, like for one of the answer arcs. Actually, since now, because like just learning just the whole thing was meant to be four planned thing, like the final chapter, in just that small extra section, and there's definitely way more. Makes me think maybe some further things been changed, like before things been finalized and published to the whole world. Just a lot of things, just both thinking meta-wise and narrative and character and personality-wise. Reina definitely does like act the same way, almost similarly, like all throughout. But yeah. Still feels like a curse, and like some human element is involved though at some level. I don't exactly entirely believe it's all completely mental illness, especially because I'm just the random heel face turns that some characters just have random points, especially there in this chapter with Mion, like with Reina and Mion, just like getting attached with oh, we care about Sadako a lot, but we don't actually, and we're just pushing up appearances because Rika's around. But now that she's gone, oh hey, Keiichi, we don't fucking care about her. Again, I just feel so bad for her, honestly. And she's meant to be the goddamn scapegoat, and nothing is gonna go her way ever. Especially since you can definitely say she was still cursed no matter what in the other chapters where Keiichi, then Reina and Mion die, but she still has, I guess, her technical best friend, like Rika by her side, and still lives with her, but just only with her, and then going to school until they move out and move on with their lives, and then technically Sadako, and oh yeah, wait, Sadako was killed there too in the ending. Oh god, the second chapter. Only Reina was still left alive, and god, and everyone dies here. How exactly are they gonna plan to escalate from here on out? How are they planning to escalate for I guess, the last chapter for the question arc, which is a lot of unknowns. And I just been here just ranting and raving and just how it is. But like, I'll just say this right now before just stopping here, then moving on to the next chapter. That I do still think there's a curse, like in people involved. It's really just that joke answer that Keiichi's actor gave, and just I guess the extras thing in the first one. It's weird to think now. Just hey, first chapter. Nope, it's just people. It's just people. Second chapter. Oh, it's all a curse now. Oh, here, it's people and a curse. All right, I can't remember. Did I like say it was definitely a wholesale curse or just people and a curse? I can't quite remember if that was it, because like now I'm just mixing my own things in my head now. Oh boy. Okay, well, confirmation bias is going out of the way, so oh boy. Okay. Well, I'm actually really curious to see how the last question arc installment is going to be before we move on to the answer arcs. It's going to be really intriguing to see how whole chapter focuses on Rika Furude. Especially since that tip about her being possibly the eighth generation to be I guess a descendant of some less superstition, or just or it's actually what's going on. But she died a few times, so there's that. I wonder how that comes to play. And how it all comes to play, actually. But we'll never get our answer just sitting around and just listen to me rambling, so leave us off and figure out whatever happens for next time. So, have a fun time watching this as I am playing this. Hope you see me next time, what time that may be, and I'll hope you fantastic day.